jubilation. I can't stop smiling.
And the agony of defeat.
When is this franchise going to realize people really care about this?
Passionate sports fans call 888 Mad Dog 6.
You gotta love sports.
Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the Sirius XM app.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody!
This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the Sirius XM app.
Our goal is to win the Super Bowl. That's it for us.
Hear every stop of the 2024 training camp tour on NFL Radio Channel 88, the all-new Sirius XM app.
Oh, to right field! Way back! Way gone!
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second to throw. In time!
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Blue Jays got off to a great start in New York last night. After a 90-minute rain delay, Toronto jumped on the Yankees in the first inning and never looked back, en route to an 8-5 win, and now looking to carry momentum into this afternoon's Game 2 tilt. Welcome, everybody, to the Sportsnet Radio Network. Eric Smith and former Major Leaguer Caleb Joseph with you, alongside host Show Ali, producer Nick Blackmore, and technical director Tom Young. Toronto's Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Perth and Smith Falls, Ontario. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. It's Toronto and New York. The first pitch is right around the corner. You're listening to Blue Jays baseball, streaming on the Sportsnet app, sportsnet.ca, and across the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local.
Cheers, Insiders. I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you for hanging out with us. I really appreciate you guys helping me create this amazing community that we have here for Toronto sports fans to hang out together every single time a Toronto sports team is live. The Blue Jays, we got hockey season coming up, the Argos games. Just wanted to say thank you. Make sure that bell is turned on so you don't miss it when we go live for any Toronto sports event and some other sports events as well. We'll see you guys back in the chat.
Help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Center. Visit timbermart.ca.
Busted Open hits the road for the biggest party of the summer. The coverage is heating up as we gear up for WWE SummerSlam in Cleveland, Ohio. Don't miss Dave LaGreca and his Hall of Fame cast and crew as they dive into the biggest storylines and speak to the biggest guests in and out of the ring. What titles will change hands? Who will make a return? Will there be any surprises? No one will get you ready for SummerSlam like Busted Open. Tune in every day from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern on Sirius XM Fight Nation, Channel 156, and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
The 0-1 pitch. And Clement sends it right back at Stroman up the middle. Diving at second was Torres. Couldn't come up with it cleanly. I'm not sure if he would have been able to throw out Ernie Clement anyway. And it's an RBI single for Clement.
He's got a good swing. You know, he's done a lot of work with that swing over the last year or so. And I think, you know, he makes so much contact, and it's just about getting the ball in the zone. So there has been a little bit of an adjustment when he's playing a little bit more. And I think he's doing a really good job. But that's a huge hit in the first to kind of get 3 there off Stroh. I thought we made him work really, really hard and had a good plan against him.
And that, of course, is the voice of Blue Jay manager John Schneider speaking about Ernie Clement, who had another big ball game last night for the Blue Jays, a big part of that first inning that I mentioned off the top when Toronto jumped on New York, scoring 3 and never looking back en route to their 8-5 win. As we get set now for Game 2, we are a couple of moments away from first pitch. Eric Smith and Caleb Joseph with you. And before I bring Caleb into the conversation, let's have a quick look at the Bet365 standings. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. The Yankees losing last night, but Baltimore not able to take advantage, or vice versa, as they both lost. So it's still a tie atop the American League East. The Orioles and Yankees at 65 and 46. Boston at 58 and 50. Tampa in fourth, a game above 500 at 55 and 54. And it's the Blue Jays off the win last night at 51 and 59, with Jose Berrios on the mound today for Toronto, facing Carlos Rodon of the Yankees. And Caleb, what did you see last night that might give Blue Jay fans some hope when I talk about the momentum rolling into Game 2, an afternoon game in the Bronx?
Yeah, well, you heard John Schneider talking about the adjustments that they made and the game plan that they had against Marcus Stroman, and I think that's exactly what it's going to take from here on out to see these youngsters in the lineup figuring out how to navigate their way around the big leagues. It's all going to be about how quickly can they adjust to the game plan, to what they're seeing on the field, and can they adjust their swing? Can they adjust their approach? Saw that in last night's game. A lot of adjustability in the swings, going into different quadrants to force Stroman into the zone. I loved that they didn't try and do too much. I love the fact that they were using what he gave them to their advantage. And I think that's a huge key for this Toronto Blue Jays lineup, is having the ability to put swings on different pitches in the zone, not just swinging at one plane trying to hit the ball of the ballpark. You saw it in last night's game. You're going to see it again this afternoon if they're able to get to Rodon.
Let's give you the starting lineup for the Blue Jays as we get set to begin this one. First pitch coming up momentarily. Batting first and DHing today is George Springer, and you will see he's got a shin guard on that leg after taking the hit last night. We were wondering if it might keep him out of the lineup today, but he is in there leading off again. But again, DH. He'll be DHing because in right field and batting ninth is Stuart Burrow. But let's do this in order. It's Springer, then Joey Loperfido coming off a couple of hits last night, including a triple in center field today. It's an off day for Dalton Varsho. Batting third, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. playing at first. Alejandro Kirk is the cleanup hitter. The catcher back in the lineup. Nice to see him back in there after a couple of games off. Spencer Horwitz batting fifth, playing at second base. Then Ernie Clement at third. Davis Schneider playing in left field today. Leo Jimenez, the shortstop, batting eighth. And as I mentioned, Baroa in right field, batting ninth for the Jays. For the Yankees, Alex Verdugo will lead things off. Juan Soto second, the right fielder. Aaron Judge DHing this afternoon, not playing in center. It's Austin Wells, the catcher, batting cleanup. Gleyber Torres back at second base. We'll talk about him, I'm sure, over the course of the game. Jazz Chisholm at third, batting sixth. Anthony Volpe, the shortstop, batting seventh. Ben Rice at first base, and then batting ninth in center, Trent Grisham. And we do have a moment maybe to talk about it, just in case we don't when he actually comes to the plate. But Gleyber Torres, who was taken out of the game yesterday, he had some comments, as did Aaron Boone after the game, and you were quite impressed with how both men handled the situation.
Yeah, it sure was. I was wondering if it was the fact that he did not get out of the box very hard after a ball hit off the left field wall, could not get to second base, and the following inning, Boone removed Torres. And post-game, they both talked about it, and I thought that Boone did a great job of saying in that moment, I felt like Gleyber needed to be removed. And Gleyber, on the other hand, said, you know what, I didn't get out of the box well. I didn't hustle. It's a learning moment for me. I wanted to be there for my teammates. That's why I went back onto the bench and tried to cheer them on. But I think this is where the game needs to continue to trend. Effort is hard to challenge, but when you hit a ball off the left center field wall and you're not even at first base while it's being thrown in, it's pretty obvious. And so when a message is sent like that, it sends a shockwave through the entire clubhouse. I guarantee you today, if there's a ball hit into the outfield, all 9 Yankee runners are going to be giving good effort down the line. And that's what you want to see in the baseball game, in my opinion.
So the Blue Jays get set to start things off here against the Yankees. Again, Toronto coming along into this ball game at 51-59. The Yankees at 65-46. And it's Carlos Rodon on the mound for the Yanks. 11-7 this season. 4.34 ERA with 129 strikeouts. What do you like most about Rodon?
You know, he reminds me a little bit of Yusei Kikuchi in that it's a power left-handed arm. He's going to use the inner half to the right-handed hitters. Got the slider below. Can use a little bit of a new mix with the breaking ball. He is just a power lefty. There's just not many of them in the big leagues. And so when you see the velocity up there, it makes you want to speed up just a little bit, which allows the pitcher to go underneath with the breaking ball. A lot of going on for Carlos Rodon, but when he uses the outer part of the plate to the right-handed hitters, it opens up a lot of protection on the inner half. That's why he's been so good and been able to really turn it around for the New York Yankees.
So we are set to go here as Springer steps in. We mentioned he's got that protective padding, that shin guard on the left leg as he digs in. And the first pitch, high, no good, missing with the fastball. And we are underway at 1:10 Eastern Time. Springer batting .229 coming into this ball game. The 1-0 pitch. And it catches the inside corner. Now 1-1. Here's the 1-1 delivery. And that one a little bit high, a little bit inside. Missing on the fastball. It's 2-1. Home plate umpire Laz Diaz, Eric Backus at third, Mike Estabrook at second, Tripp Gibson at first. The 2-1 pitch coming to Springer. And that one inside as well, almost the same spot. It's now 3-1.
I remember having plenty of games behind the plate with Laz Diaz, who's the home plate umpire. Generally a bigger strike zone, and hopefully you're able to hear the strike call because he is pretty vocal back there.
The 3-1 pitch. And Springer sends it out to short. It's gobbled up by Volpe over to first to Ben Rice. And there's one away.
Remember on 3-0 counts, catching in front of Laz Diaz, and anytime the pitch was even remotely close, before he made a strike call, he'd say, "Stay here. Strike one." So that the batter doesn't do the whole walk to first base, acting like, oh, wait, where was that pitch? Laz is a great character back there.
The first pitch into Joey Loperfido is sent foul down the third base line toward left field, about 15 rows deep, in an 0-1 count. Joey with a couple of hits last night in his second game as a Blue Jay. Had a triple, which got things going for the Blue Jays in that first inning. And he gets underneath one here, but it's a decent fly ball. It's actually kind of tracking back further than anticipated. And Trent Grisham, who had come in, had to suddenly track back and make a pretty tough grab over his shoulder.
Yeah, that was a total misread in center field by Grisham. Right off the bat, Grisham kind of comes in. Looks like it's a bit of a lazy fly ball. Possibly loses it maybe in the sun a little bit and then has to really race backwards. Catching it right on the warning track. 408 to center field at Yankee Stadium. Loperfido looked like he kind of just got it off the end of the bat, but he really put a thump into it.
It brings up Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with two away, and Vladdy swing and a miss on the first pitch. A nice curveball there. And an 0-1 count. A lefty on righty battle right here as Guerrero digs in, down 0-1. The pitch. And Guerrero gets underneath one. He sends one for a ride. It's deep into center field, and it's over the wall. A solo shot for Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and yet again, the Blue Jays strike early. It's 1-0 Toronto.
Oh my goodness, I mean, what a run Vladdy is on. 105 off the bat. It travels 417 feet. It was the second curveball in a row of the sequence. The first one was a middle curveball, swung right through. Pretty big swing, especially considering he's probably just getting the sleepies out of his eye with the 1 o'clock start. Rodon tries to come right back with it. Vladdy absolutely tattoos it, and direction. It's dead center field. Didn't try to pull it, stayed within, looked like he might have been sitting soft. He got every bit of that baseball.
First pitch to Alejandro Kirk, in for a strike. Got him with a fastball on the inside edge, clocked at 94. Down 0-1 in the count. First inning is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. A second straight fastball. This one no good. It's now 1-1 to Kirk as he swings and misses at a changeup, now down 1-2. Toronto leading 1-0 here in the top of the first inning. And Kirk will hope to keep this inning alive right here. The 1-2 pitch. The leg kick and the delivery. Outside and high, it's 2-2. Kirk missed a couple of games after taking a pitch off that left elbow, sort of upper forearm area a few games ago. Brian Serven played relatively well for Toronto. The 2-2 pitch fouled off by Kirk, staying alive. We'll do it again at 2-2. Kirk stepped out of the box for a moment, steps back in, digs in, 2-2 pitch, fouled off again, and it actually caught Kirk down on the foot, and he throws his bat down on the ground in frustration and then walks back over to pick it up. That one stings.
Yeah, he's got the entire left side of his body protected. He's got a hand guard. He's got the elbow guard, the shin guard, the toe guard. This one is fouled right off the instep of that toe guard, and there is space in between the padding of the shin
and the only spot that
guard.
Isn't covered that he got hit.
It's like a 2-inch spot, and I think that's right where that ball hit.
The 2-2 pitch, the seventh pitch of this at-bat coming right now, and Kirk gets it off the end of the bat, sends it into the gap in right center, but tracking it down, making the grab is center fielder Trent Grisham to end the inning. But the Blue Jays get one and head to the bottom of the first with a 1-0 lead. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. We're two men in a truck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved. Think two men in a truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think two men in a truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, two men in a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Next pitch, Moniak takes off. It's low a ball, throw down to second. They got him!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Eric Smith and Caleb Joseph with you as we get set for the bottom of the first inning. Jose Berrios on the mound for the Blue Jays, coming in at 9-8 with 97 strikeouts on the season, the 3.93 ERA, and he has spotted a 1-0 lead thanks to a solo shot from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And of note as well, it's the 24th home run of the season given up by Carlos Rodon, and that is a career high. We're still only in the first couple of days of August, and he has given up a career high 24 home runs.
Yeah, if you're going to give him up, you'd rather him be solo shots, and that was a solo shot to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., but probably an alarming stat for the Yankee staff as they move deep into the season.
Getting set for the first pitch of the ball game to Alex Verdugo, and it's in for a strike from Berrios. The fastball clean, 0-1 count. Verdugo, the lefty bat, one of many in the Yankee lineup. 10 home runs, 49 runs batted in 107 games this season. The 0-1 pitch just a little bit low. Looked like it might have caught that bottom part of the zone, but Laz Diaz says no, and it's 1-1. Berrios gets the sign from Kirk. The 1-1 pitch, and it's popped up, sent into shallow left field. Charging in for it and calling off Jimenez is Davis Schneider, the left fielder, who makes the grab, and there's one away.
One of the keys I'm going to be looking for with Berrios today is how he engages that back hip. A lot of times his direction can start to get a little bit spinny, and what I mean by that is the left shoulder and the right shoulder start to kind of move left and right versus kind of up and over, which sends him in a little bit of a different direction, gets the hand placement out of the right spot, which makes the ball start to move around. He's had control issues the last 4 or 5 starts, but when he gets on track, the ball ends up where he wants it to be.
First pitch to Juan Soto is high and outside. Missing with the fastball, 1-0 count. Quickly back, Berrios delivers outside and a little bit low this time, and now 2-0. Kind of a sunny yet overcast day in New York. Certainly better than what we dealt with last night when the game was delayed for an hour and 31 minutes before getting underway. And I'm going to guess that it's pretty humid as well, given the fact that it looks like Berrios is already drenched in sweat. His jersey looks like it's a different shade than his pants.
Dark gray versus the lighter
exactly.
Gray.
Exactly.
I remember being in the minor leagues, and half the time that wasn't sweat. That was just how the jerseys came out. But it is definitely sweat for Berrios.
Berrios down 3-0 to Soto, and swinging on the 3-0 pitch, a line drive into right field, and Stuart Berroa had to let it drop. He had no chance of making a play there. Picks it up on one hop, and Soto has a single. To get on base for now, Aaron Judge.
Yeah, Aaron Judge with his 40th home run in the game last night, 477 feet into the second deck in Yankee Stadium, past the bullpen, and any ball going into the bullpen is a deep shot. This one goes over the bullpen, Yankee Stadium left center field. He absolutely got every bit of that ball last night.
And that was in the first inning after the Blue Jays scored 3. New York came back, got 2, but Toronto led wire to wire. They got that early lead and never looked back en route to their 8-5 win. And Judge steps in, takes a strike on the first pitch, a swinging strike, as he couldn't get that sinker clocked at 95. Batting .318 entering the ball game today. Judge swings at the next pitch, and he launches one, a similar spot as last night, and this one into the bullpen, not over the bullpen, but a 2-run homer, and the Yankees lead 2-1.
Goodness. It's, you know, we talk about Vladdy Guerrero Jr. being an aircraft carrier when he's on. The things that Aaron Judge can do just continues to amaze. This is a fastball up and in, as a probably a ball and a half on the inner part of the plate, not a strike. Judge gets it close to the label. It made a funny sound. He's jammed on this pitch, and because of the brute strength that he has, he's able to get it into the Yankee dugout. Sucks the hands in really tight. He absolutely was jammed, but still hits it out of the ballpark. Most humans fly out to shallow left field. That ball traveled all the way over the fence.
So just like last night, the Yankees, thanks to a 2-run shot from Aaron Judge, get on the board. But now, in today's game, it gives them the lead. Last night, they still trailed by 1. Now they lead by 1, with Austin Wells stepping in and falling down quickly in the count. The left-handed bat of Wells, the Yankee catcher, down 0-2. See if Berrios can respond right here. Missing outside, it's now 1-2. Berrios stares in at Alejandro Kirk. Gets the sign. And the 1-2 pitch outside. It's 2-2. By the way, the Canadian women's Olympic soccer team in their quarterfinal match against Germany, about 24 minutes into the game. No score. We'll keep you updated on that throughout the day, and I'm sure we'll get updates from Show Ali at Baseball Control. The 2-2 pitch. It's fouled away, dribbled toward the third base dugout. We'll do it again at 2-2. All smiles from Aaron Judge in the Yankee dugout, and understandably so, with his 41st home run of the season. At what point do we start talking about 70 being possible, not just the 60?
I mean, it's goodness.
And the 2-2 pitch just a little bit low and maybe a little bit inside. Blue Jays would have loved to have gotten that call, but it's 3-2 now. After getting ahead 0-2, Berrios doesn't want to lose Wells here, and Wells fights to stay alive, fouling off that pitch. We'll do it again at 3-2.
I mean, 70 is definitely possible if you're going to hit balls off the label 4 and 5 inches inside and be able to hit it out of the ballpark. It's not normal. It's not human-like. Most people that take a swing like Judge just swung at, it does not even get close to the wall, much less over it.
And Berrios just lost Wells. Again, after having the 0-2 count, Wells battles through an 8-pitch at-bat and earns a free pass to get on base now for Gleyber Torres. Trying to figure out the math here. I was never good at math, Caleb. 111 games into the season, so that's 51 left. So 51 games. I think he can easily get 19 home runs to get to 60. Maybe I shouldn't say easily, but it's definitely within reach.
Well,
70, getting 29 home runs in 51 games could be tough, but not out of the realm of possibility.
Especially if he gets on a streak.
Yep.
If he gets going, who knows?
Well, we might be seeing it right now.
Yeah, right?
Back-to-back games now for Aaron Judge. First pitch to Gleyber Torres is fouled off. And an 0-1 count.
I'll tell you what, this would be the one piece of the lineup that I'd be really hesitant with after being benched in yesterday's game. You know Torres is coming in baited for bear, trying to redeem himself from last night.
Outside, missing with the slurve. It's now 1-1. Torres, the right-handed bat, back at second base for the Yankees to start this ball game. Berrios now getting set with the 1-1 pitch. And down low, missing with that one on the sinker. It's now 2-1. Already 20 pitches thrown for Berrios. Facing the 5th batter of the game, with the Yankees leading 2-1. They've got one on with one out. And that one might have been a little bit high, but you'll take it and run if you're a Blue Jay fan, as Laz Diaz calls the strike, and now Berrios even at 2-2. Torres batting .233 on the season. Getting set for the 2-2 delivery. Here's the pitch. And he sends this one right at Jimenez at first, who quickly whips it back to Vladdy. As Austin Wells was diving back into the bag, the ball got away from Guerrero. Not a great throw from Berrios. But either way, it didn't hurt the Jays as it ricocheted off the wall and right back to Vladdy. So Wells stays at first with 2 away.
Yeah, Guerrero Jr.'s at first base holding Wells on. Wells makes a bad read right off the bat. Jimenez, it's right at him. All he's got to do is just kind of turn a double play, catch it, throw to first. The throw to first is low and up the line. Vladdy's trying to reach across, can't get it. Blue Jays should have had a double play there.
Brings up Jazz Chisholm, who sends one to short. And unable to make the play is Spencer Horwitz. He tried to backhand it, and it kind of ricocheted off his glove into shallow right, and now it's 2 on with 2 out.
It just shows you can't give any inches away in a major league game, as Jimenez just had a perfect double play right. All he's got to do is throw a strike to Vladdy Guerrero Jr., but he can't. Ball gets away. Now Chisholm comes up. Chisholm, a ground ball single, pretty much right at a second base normal position, but Horwitz is shaded over to first base. He's got to move to his right, just can't get it clean. Tips off the glove, and now what should have been, in my opinion, the last 2 plays to end an inning. Berrios is again behind the 8 ball. Pitching coach Pete Walker is going to come out and have a little bit of a chat. 23 pitches into the first. Berrios is really struggling to finish this inning off, and I don't blame him after Judge hits a 2-run homer. Kind of been scared out of the zone a little bit, but he's going to have to deal with Volpe. with first and second, 2 outs.
Anthony Volpe comes up batting .259 in 110 games. He's only missed 1 game for the Yankees this season. With runners at first and second and New York leading 2-1. The first pitch is fouled off up and over the dugout on the first base side. It's an 0-1 count. I'm actually just looking back at Aaron Judge's last handful of games, because when you talked about going on a streak, I do remember him having a game where he had 2 against the Phillies. And just quickly looking at the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. 6 home runs in his last 8 games. Maybe the streak has already started.
Can hit him in bunches.
And he's the reason the Yankees lead right now 2-1. The 0-2 pitch. A weak grounder out to short, picked up by Jimenez over to first to record the out, and the Blue Jays get out of a bit of a jam, but they give up 2 runs and again go to the second inning now, trailing 2-1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Find your groove with summer dance sounds in the SiriusXM app. The party never stops on new channel Sounds of Ibiza. Summer house throwbacks play on Utopia. Or lounge to poolside vibes from Chill. Find it all on the SiriusXM app. Tap in, turn up, and keep moving. Search summer.
It's fantasy football season, because we say it is.
Travis Kelce, touchdown!
From fantasy football strategies to players you need to draft or avoid.
Christian McCaffrey is one of the riskiest #1 overall picks in fantasy football history.
Fantasy Sports Radio is your home to win.
There is no bigger value today than Dak Prescott.
If you're not preparing for the 2024 fantasy football season, you're already losing. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The battle for regional soccer supremacy is on in the Leagues Cup.
Cucho Hernandez, it is him yet again!
And your home for all the top matches is SiriusXM FC.
It's a masterpiece from Andre Pierre Gignac.
Hear all your favorite teams from Major League Soccer and Mexico's Liga MX fight for the right to be crowned the King of North America.
Miami, Leagues Cup champions!
Keep up with the Leagues Cup on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Blue Jays fans, John Schneider joins MLB Network Radio every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern on SiriusXM 89 and the SiriusXM app.
Radio Network.
Welcome back. Second inning. Getting set to begin right here. It's presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. The Blue Jays trailing the Yankees 2-1. A solo shot from Vladdy in the top of the first was equaled and bested by a 2-run shot from Aaron Judge as New York now leads Toronto 2-1. And the first batter of this second inning for the Blue Jays, Spencer Horwitz, takes a fastball for a strike and a 0-1 counts. Swinging at the next pitch, fouling it off. That fastball sent into the stands by Horwitz up and over the third base dugout, and now down 0-2. Coming into the ball game batting .280 with a couple of hits last night in the Blue Jay victory. And that one way high. 1-2. After allowing his Yankees to trail by 1, Rodon now pitching with the lead here in the second inning as Horwitz slaps at the next pitch and sends a lazy fly ball out toward third base. Charging in for it is Jazz Chisholm to make the grab, and there's one away.
I think these next few months are going to be really important for the Blue Jays to see exactly what they have in Horwitz when it comes to everyday at-bats. I think if he can hold his own against left-handers, it's exactly what you're looking for in terms of a everyday second baseman. Once you feel like he could handle that, and I do think he's going to be able to because of how he hangs in there versus the lefties, you can start to move some other pieces around.
Ernie Clement now steps in, batting .270 on the season. We talked about him a little bit earlier. He was one of the many that played well last night for the Blue Jays. And he got things going in the first inning for Toronto with their offense. Clement ahead in the count 1-0 after Rodon missed with the curveball in the first pitch. The 1-0 pitch is inside first, or check that outside, but the outside edge of the zone, so it's 1-1. Clocked at 95. How about Clement over the last 8 games? Batting .364. Not sure he's going to get on here, though. Slaps one to third on a couple of bounces. Picked up by Chisholm over to first to record the out. And there's 2 away.
And I don't think the Blue Jays want him to tone back the aggressiveness. I think that's part of Clement's game that suits him well. It's more about what he's looking for and going up there with a super refined plan in terms of the aggressiveness. Be as aggressive as you want, but don't always sit first pitch fastball, because the league has started to throw him more breaking balls early on.
It brings up Davis Schneider batting .215. We talked about it last night. He's dipped a little bit in terms of his production over the last month plus. In 97 games, 10 home runs, 37 runs batted in. And now even the count, 1-1. First pitch no good. Second one came in on a nifty slider from Rodon. And again, even in the count, 1-1. The 1-1 is way high. It's 2-1. Eric Smith and Caleb Joseph in the Timber Mart broadcast booth, with Toronto trailing 2-1 in the top of the second. Here's the 2-1 delivery. And again, dropping in that curveball nicely is Rodon, pulling the count to 2-2. Working quickly with the 2-2 pitch. Schneider fouls one off down the right field line into the stands. We'll do it again at 2-2.
I think that's what has been a key part of Rodon's success, is being able to have pitches start on the outer half or appear to be moving away from the right-handed hitters. We know about the heavy fastball, the good slider underneath coming into right-handed hitters, but he's using a slower curveball starting it outside and the changeup moving away from hitters.
The 2-2 pitch, and Schneider got a piece of that one, fouls it down into the dirt. We'll do it again at 2-2.
And much like Kikuchi, which we saw a career high in changeups with his first start in Houston, having something moving away from the right-handed hitters to make them not only respect the speed difference, but the fact that it's on the other side of the plate. If you're just sitting on the inner half looking for fastball slider, you're going to have a much better chance than if you have to respect both sides of the plate.
Way high on that one, and you could hear Laz Diaz in the background yelling out 3-2, 3-2.
Love it. And he'll do it all game.
Full count to Davis Schneider. Here's the pitch. Foul down the third base line. We'll do it again at 3-2. It'll be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Check that. It'll be the 9th. That was the 8th right there. Yankees leading Toronto 2-1 here in the top of the second inning. Jays with just one hit, and it was a solo shot from Vladdy in the first inning. 3-2 strikeout to Schneider, and that will do it for Toronto. We head on down to the bottom of the second with New York up by 1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
George Springer takes his love for hockey seriously. It's even starting to show in his post-game press conferences.
All right, first.
Hey, George, big catch by Dalton there in the 8th.
You know, Varshy's a grinder.
Really felt like a team effort tonight.
26 guys. Takes all 26 guys. Yeah, bud. This one was a barn burner. Just tried to get the barrel on it, eh? Yeah, that was a beauty, eh? Those guys were chirping. They wanted to drop the mitts. Next.
Get down to Rogers Center on August 7th and get your George Springer replica hockey jersey presented by TD. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're two men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think two men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're two men and a truck.
Two men and a truck, the movers who care.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
It's Ernie Clement with the RBI single. 1-0 Toronto.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Bottom of the second inning. Eric Smith and Caleb Joseph with you. Yankees leading 2-1 as they come up for the second time in this ball game. And it'll be Ben Rice, the left-handed hitting first baseman, to lead things off for the Yankees. Rice batting .207 entering action today. The first pitch from Berrios came a little bit inside. Rice tried to turn on it. Sends it out to second, picked up by Horwitz. He bobbled it, picked it back up, and too late to throw at Rice. A botched play by Horwitz, and I don't know what happened. He caught it cleanly. Didn't seem like there was any issue. It wasn't like it was a hard shot. He just butterfingered it as he was trying to make the transfer from glove to throwing hand.
Yep, just bobbled it right as he was trying to transfer. But you got to credit Ben Rice for running hard down the line the entire time. He never broke stride. That's an easy play as you see Horwitz corral it, that you shut it down as a runner. He never shut it down. Had he shut it down, Horwitz might have gotten him when he was able to recover that baseball.
And the first pitch in for a strike to Trent Grisham, the center fielder this afternoon, batting .186 in 60 games. Does have a little bit of pop with the 6 home runs, 21 runs batted in. He's already been tested a couple of times in center for the Yankees. And he just got underneath one and launches one to right field, and it's a 2-run shot for New York as they lead 4-1.
It's a slurve that doesn't finish to the back foot, kind of settles in middle down. Grisham has a bit of a cutoff sword swing, just kind of half swing, stops his follow through, but the ball just shoots right up into the right center field airwave out there in right field at Yankee Stadium. But what a swing. I mean, doesn't finish, just hits the ball and just stops at contact.
It looked like he was chipping out of the sand.
Yes, and the ball just took off.
I got to tell you something as well, folks. I talked about the fact that Grisham has a little pop, and then he goes ahead and does that right away. This is like a little nugget that will mean nothing to the radio audience. But I swear to you, and Caleb's proof of it, I don't even know if you saw it, Caleb. Before that home run, like right before it, I looked up at the Sportsnet screen, and it was 2-1 Yankees. I'm talking before the pitch like even came in. The graphic changed to 4-1.
No way.
So whoever's working graphics for Sportsnet, go buy a lottery ticket. Somebody hit a button or something, and the score changed to 4-1. And while that ball was in the air, it changed back to 2-1, then quickly went back to 4-1 because the 2 runs had come in. So eerie premonition by whoever's working graphics or whatever in the Sportsnet studios. It is now legitimately 4-1.
Feel free to say 7-1 Toronto.
Yeah, exactly. Well, 7-4 now.
7-4 Toronto.
Alex Verdugo comes up and sees 3 straight sinkers go for balls, and now 1 strike finally comes in on a fastball from Berrios. 3-1, and now that one is sent out towards short, but it's picked up by Clement, the third baseman, and whips it over to first to record the out, the first out of this inning. And there's 1 away with the Blue Jays trailing 4-1.
Yeah, talk about momentum in baseball, and Jose Berrios has a 26-pitch first inning, down by 2 runs, gets a early weak contact, which should have been an out right out the gate, could have settled him right into that inning. Before he knows it, a pitch or 2 later, Grisham gets him, and the start has already sort of unraveled for Berrios.
So the Blue Jays now down 3 as Juan Soto steps in, following that ground out from Alex Verdugo. Soto with a single in the first inning and came around to score on the Aaron Judge 2-run homer. And now it's 1-1. As Soto looked at a fastball on the first pitch and took a look at a sinker on the second one, which caught the outside edge, hence the 1-1 count. Berrios just given the call right there. That one looked well outside. Soto shaking his head, not happy about that one. Berrios now ahead 1-2. And that one was
on the chalk.
Way outside.
On the chalk.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Soto sits down. There's 2 away.
It's been around so many major league games that you have a pitcher that struggles in the first inning, and you're really looking for a short, efficient second inning to kind of get them back on track. And talk about the inches in a major league game and giving away extra outs, momentum shifts, especially on the road when you're going to have to really manage a lot of the runs that those home teams are going to try and provide. This is a bit weird. I think it's like the Toronto Blue Jays with 2 outs and nobody on are intentionally walking Aaron Judge. I mean, I don't mind it because he's hitting homers at least every game, but that's a bit interesting.
And the Yankees trying to make the Blue Jays pay as Austin Wells comes up, first pitch swinging a base hit to right field, and now it's 2 on with 2 out.
I'm still trying to figure this out. Like, Blue Jays are down 4-1, second inning, nobody on, 2 outs. Don't want to make it 5-1, but it's not like they're. I mean, does it really matter at this point? Maybe they're trying to keep competitive play.
If it was the 7th inning, fine, but yeah, in the second inning,
sure.
I think I'd be pitching to the guy. Even if you pitch around him, obviously, right?
Yeah.
If it ends up you walk him, fine, but
maybe he chases and gets a weak grounded to shortstop, or
well, think about last night when Chad Green came in and struck out Judge.
Yep.
To end the ball game.
Yep.
Struck out the side, in fact, in the 9th inning. (4-1), Yankees leading in the bottom of the second inning, and the pitch was just fouled off moments ago by Gleyber Torres, as now he's down in the count, 0-2. Berrios now over 40 pitches thrown, 41 to be exact. Here's the 0-2 delivery. And it's chopped foul down the third base line. We'll do it again at 0-2. Judge out at second. Wells at first. And Torres at the plate. Berrios with a quick look out at second. Turns, fires on the 0-2. Swing and a miss. And a strikeout for Berrios will end the inning as the Yankees get 2 to lead 4-1 heading to the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men in a truck. The movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep Because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
A game-tying blast from Bo Bichette.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Perth and Smith Falls, Ontario. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. Blue Jays trailing 4-1 as we get set to start the third inning. I said I would keep you updated on the Olympic action. There are other events obviously on the go, but big eyes on the women's soccer team in their quarterfinal matchup against Germany. Still no score about 45 minutes into the game. The first pitch to Leo Jimenez is inside, no good, and a 1-0 count. Leo batting .217 through 22 games, entering action today, still in search of his first Major League home run. And that one looked a little outside, but it's called a strike. So Laz Diaz has certainly had a looser strike zone today than what we saw last night from Eric Backus.
Mm-hmm. He favors pitchers, no doubt about it.
The 1-1. And that one high. Austin Wells tried to pull it down, but Diaz was having none of that. It's 2-1. Rodon, the lefty, with the kick, the delivery, swing and a miss from Jimenez, and it's 2-2.
Okay, can we talk about the whistle? Hopefully no Blue Jay strikes out for the rest of the game, but if a Blue Jay strikes out, see if you can hear the background whistle at Yankee Stadium. I can still hear it in my nightmares. I hated that thing as a visiting player.
Well, Jimenez fouls one off. Now you're making me want Leo to strike out, and I don't want that.
I know. It was a point of interest when I would come into Yankee Stadium as a visiting player. Do not hear the whistle. And folks, let me tell you, it didn't turn out very well. I heard the whistle quite a bit. I was punching out left and right at Yankee Stadium.
And Leo keeps battling, fouls off another pitch. We'll do it again at 2-2. I did a quick Google, and it sounds like it's something connected to a sponsor. Couldn't find a real clear answer in the 60-second commercial break that we had to sort of do our research.
Probably is. Would make sense.
Somebody paying big money for that. Again, the 2-2 pitch. High, way high. Missing on a fastball, clocked at 97, and it's 3-2. Blue Jays down 4-1, trying to get things going here in the third inning. And I purposely shut up to hear the whistle as Leo Jimenez just struck out to start this third inning.
That is it, folks. Going back to the days of Masahiro Tanaka. Just owned the team that I played for, and it was whistle after whistle after whistle, and no good. Hopefully that's the last time we hear it in today's ball game.
Now Stuart Berrios steps in, his first at-bat of the ball game. The Blue Jays with only one hit thus far, and it was a solo home run in the first inning from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Toronto trailing New York 4-1. Berrios down 0-1 in the count. The lefty, Rodon, delivers, and a swing and a miss and a quick 0-2.
Rodon looks good. The stuff looks good. Featuring 95 to 97 mile per hour fastball. Got that kind of slower curve we were talking about that he's throwing a little bit outside, finishing middle down, changeup following it on that outer lane, and then the good hard slider down and in. He's settled in nicely after the home run to Vladdy Jr.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. And Berrios holds off on that one. It was up high, 1-2. Berrios batting .158 on the season. Playing out in right field today as George Springer is the DH. He'll be up next. And Berrios apparently held back on that one. They checked down at first base. And Trip Gibson says, yep, he didn't break those wrists. It's 2-2. Nice job there by Berrios to not chase after the slider, to stay alive in this count. As he steps out briefly, now steps back in, sets the feet, and here comes the pitch from Rodon. The 2-2 delivery. And Berrios fouls one down the right field side, and it's going to make it to the wall. It bounces off the track, off the netting there in right field, and still life in the lungs for Berrios. Juan Soto was trying to get to that ball, but just couldn't get there in time. So an opportunity now for Berrios to get on. Bottom of the order for the Blue Jays, with the top coming up next with George Springer on deck. The 2-2 pitch down in the dirt. It's 3-2.
Remember facing Rodon in Chicago, and it's a bit of a crossfire delivery, which means it starts a little bit closer to first base, and when he gets that 95 to 97 mile per hour fastball all the way at the top of the zone, he's got good life, good extension, makes you really got to respect and speed up to get that bat head out in front.
Swing and a miss. Berrios sits down, back-to-back strikeouts for the Yankees. It's the third of the ball game for Rodon, and there's now 2 away.
Just powers a fastball kind of middle down right past Berrios. And it's the velocity, it's the carry, it's the high spin as Berrios just swings right underneath it. And a lot of times that carry is what fools the hitters.
Back to the top of the order we go. Second at bat for George Springer. He grounded out to first, back in the first, to lead off this ball game. Toronto down by 3. And now Springer gets underneath one, sends it to left field. It's traveling back to the wall, almost against the wall, maybe about 2 feet in front of it. Making the grab is Alex Verdugo, and that will do it for the Blue Jays. Baseball brought to you by your local fan.
What's up, insiders? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. The Blue Jays travel to New York to take on the New York Yankees, the rival Yankees. Please make sure you have hit that like button down below. And as well, just a heads up for everybody, we're going to be starting our Sick Kids campaign in just a couple of weeks. We're going to be doing another campaign with Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto. So be on the lookout for that, and we'll talk to you guys back in the chat. Cheers, everybody.
Yeah, right now on the SiriusXM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89. Or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Eric Smith and Caleb Joseph with you. Timber Mart always has someone on deck to help you with any home improvement projects. Before you begin renovating, visit the team at Timber Mart. They've got the know-how to make sure you come out swinging on your next project. Timber Mart, Canada's building center. Jazz Chisholm not swinging at that first pitch. It's a sinker in for a strike. And Berrios ahead 0-1. And now quickly down 0-2 as he swings at the changeup and misses. Berrios trying to come away with a clean inning, hasn't done so thus far after giving up 2 in the first and 2 in the second. It's 4-1, Yankees leading. And that one down in the dirt. It actually hit the dirt about a foot or two before the plate. They snagged by Kirk. Of course, nobody on with Chisholm, the leadoff hitter in this third inning. The 1-2. Too high, missed with the slurve. It's 2-2. And he tried to come inside on Chisholm. He turns on it, sends one foul down the right field side. And it was on the track in play, but Vladdy couldn't get to it in time. He was sprinting, but just couldn't get there.
Chisholm will need a new piece of lumber as that slurve kind of running up and in to the newly acquired Yankee. You know, that pitch probably wants to finish more down underneath the zone. You can just tell watching this game that Berrios is really kind of fighting location, fighting mechanics as pitches just aren't really getting to the spot. It's about 1 out of every 3 pitches are getting to where he's actually aiming, and a lot of that just has to do with lower half stability, being nice and smooth in the lower half. If you start to really spin and jump away from that lower half, you're going to lose the connectivity. So looking to see if Berrios can really load into that hip, stay good and smooth, and hit the spot with the pitch.
Here's the 2-2. Down low. Missed with a sinker. And now 3-2.
That was a perfect example. Kirk set up and away to the left-handed hitting Chisholm, and he throws it down and away, just totally missing the spot.
Outside, and a walk issued to Jazz Chisholm. And that's happened a few times now in this ball game where Berrios has gotten out to an 0-2 lead on a hitter and then allowed it to come back to 3-2 and either issued a walk or given up a hit or something.
You could just see it. The left shoulder's flying down towards first base. The right shoulder, which is connected to the ball, is moving towards third base. You lose the connectivity. Balls are being missed high and arm side, low and arm side, just not connected.
First pitch to Anthony Volpe, and he sends it out to right field. Tracking back on the track is Stuart Berrios to make the grab, and there's one away. Berrios with a nice catch there, quickly whips it into first. No chance really to get Jazz Chisholm going back to first base, but a good thought anyway by Berrios. It brings up Ben Rice. Rice, the lefty bat, the first baseman for the Yankees. And part of the reason Berrios was trying to throw it back to first was Jazz Chisholm had actually taken off looking for a stolen base, and he was almost on second base when Berrios made that grab. So keep an eye on Chisholm to maybe take off again here. With Rice at the plate, first pitch. Ooh, it looked a little low, but take it and run if you're a Blue Jay fan. It's called a strike, and Rice down 0-1. He reached on an error last inning and ultimately came around to score on the Trent Grisham 2-run homer. Berrios whips it over to first to keep Chisholm honest, who dives back into the bag. Surprisingly, we don't hear many boos from the Yankee fans. Normally, any building you're in, nobody likes it when the pitcher throws over.
No matter what, no matter the score, don't throw over. Not allowed in the game of baseball.
The 0-1 catches the outside edge, and quickly now 0-2, Berrios ahead. Blue Jays down 4-1 here in the bottom of the third inning. Berrios has thrown 53 pitches. Quick look over his shoulder to Chisholm at first. And the 0-2 delivery is popped up. Rice got underneath it. It's in foul territory, but in play, snagged by Ernie Clement at third, and there's 2 away.
Talked about locating. That was probably the best 3-pitch sequence to Ben Rice. Really located a sinker, came back with a nice 4-seam on the outer half, and then located that up and in fastball to get the foul ball out to Ernie Clement. Perfectly executed sequence there. If you're Pete Walker and the Blue Jays, that's exactly what you're looking for Berrios. Hit your spots. The stuff looks good. It looks crisp. Good velocity on the fastball, but it's all about getting it into the zone by getting into the lanes in your windup.
So Trent Grisham comes up now with a man on first. That's Jazz Chisholm with 2 away here in the 3rd inning. Grisham, I love the fact that he's got on, like, I don't know that they're actually Ray-Bans, but they look like just normal everyday sunglasses. He's not wearing like Pit Vipers or athletic glasses or any sort of regular, like they look like they're just a pair of Ray-Bans.
Like you found them in the stands and just put them on. Somebody on the 3rd or 4th row was wearing them and he said, hey, I'll trade you.
I mean, they got the nice blue mirrors on the front, but it looks like he's got that sort of, what do they call that, turtle shell sort of pattern around the lenses. And
absolutely.
A good look. With that stash, he's got like a little Magnum PI going on or something.
No doubt. And sporting, I think they're Jordan 11s maybe?
I think you're right.
Is that the patent, the white shoe with the patent shiny leather kind of around the...
I got to call my kid. He would know right away. I'm pretty sure you're right. It's the Jordan 11s.
I've got 5 or 6 pairs of them at home that haven't been worn. I'm saving them for my retirement plan in the next 30 years, but I think they're the same. Just a lot of people do that. They turn regular shoes into cleats, have cleat makers put cleats on the bottom of them.
The 0-2 coming to Grisham. Swing and a miss. He sits down, and Berrios gets out of the inning. It's 4-1 New York. Toronto needs to get the offense cooking here. They have only 1 hit in the game. We'll see if they can change that. When we come back, you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
You're drafting your fantasy football teams this month, and Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help.
Right side of the end zone, touchdown, CeeDee Lamb.
From winning strategies to expert drafts you can model your teams after, to up-to-the-minute news, your championship run starts right now.
If you are sitting at the 12th pick and you are like, well, there's 10 receivers already gone, what do I... Take the second best running back.
Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball.
Hey Insiders, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a heads up. We've got some new content coming up here on TSI. You guys remember last NFL playoff season? Yeah, we did a couple of games for the Buffalo Bills, which is Toronto's team, right? So hey, here we are, we're doing it again. Every single game is going to be live right here on TSI, starting with the first preseason game of the season, the Chicago Bears visiting the Buffalo Bills on August 10th. Make sure you guys are here hanging out with us for that one. And we'll get back to the chat. Go Jays, go.
Of the Dale Jr. download.
Wednesday at 6 p.m. and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90. Or download this week's episode right now on the SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
And it's gone!
Jays fans, this is John Schneider, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
There's the exclamation point for all assembled here at Rogers Center.
Welcome back. 4th inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. 4-1 Yankees lead the Blue Jays as we start this 4th inning. Joey Loperfido in and takes a big cut at the first pitch, a high fastball. He went after it, missing, and it's 0-1. Loperfido flew out to center field in his first at bat, a ball that actually traveled a lot further than we thought off the bat, made it all the way to the track. And now he's quickly down 0-2 as Carlos Rodon has been pitching well this afternoon for the Yankees. By the way, if we hear that whistle, I've got info now. Nick Blackmore, our producer, did some digging. So we finally have an answer. We don't want to hear the whistle, but if we do, on a Blue Jay strikeout, which just happened. So that whistle is a sponsorship deal,
okay,
as we kind of thought it might be. PC Richard & Son is the largest chain of private family-owned appliance, television, electronics, and mattress stores in the United States. Apparently 66 stores across New York, Jersey, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania. And the company is known for its trademark whistle jingle, which was created by soundsmith worker Lear Leary. Great handle. It's used by the Yankees after striking out an opposing batter at Yankee Stadium. So there you go, P.C. Richard & Son, a sponsor deal. It's like Lo Perfito was listening on cue. He gave us the strikeout so we could mention. And how about P.C. Richard & Son getting a shout-out now on the Canadian broadcast?
Yes.
They owe us something now.
Yes, they do.
Just cut off the middleman, P.C. Richard & Son. Don't contact Rogers. Just contact Joseph and Smith. Vladdy ahead in the count 2-0, and he punches one to center field, and it's going to fall down in front of a diving Grisham in center, and it'll be a base hit for Vladdy. 2 hits in the game for the Jays, both off the bat of Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Sometimes when you're going good, it's just everything you take a swing at falls in front of a fielder. This is a fastball moving down and in to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And when he's not going well, this is the exact location and pitch that you see him chop it into the ground to the left side. But he keeps the angle of the bat perfectly, rotates through it, drops it right into center field.
Brings up Alejandro Kirk with a man on now, only 1 away, and he fouls off the first pitch. 0-1 count to Kirk.
And that to me just shows his timing, his direction. When you're late on a ball, you're going to release that barrel, and that ball might be hit on the ground, hit on the barrel, but it's going to be an out to the left part of the field. When you stay behind it, that's when you get the lift off and you get it to drop into center field.
And Kirk just fouled off the next pitch from Rodon and quickly down 0-2. Got just a bit of a piece of that fastball clocked at 97. By the way, back to the Vladdy hit. Nice job of backing up there by Juan Soto after Grisham dove and missed. Soto was right on that ball to hold Vladdy to the single. Otherwise, could have easily been a double. I'm not sure if it had enough juice to get to the wall, but it could have been extra bases for Vladdy.
Yeah, that's a great point. No doubt about it. If Soto's not moving that way, it would have only skirted probably 4 or 5 feet away from Grisham, but would have been an easy stand-up double for Junior.
1-2 count now to Kirk. Rodon the leg kick and the delivery. Swing and a miss, another strikeout.
See, fans, I hope if wherever you are, whether you're in the car, whether you're at your house, I hope that whistling sound is starting to get annoying like it was as a visiting player. But kind of going back to Vladdy really quick, what's the difference? To me, it's all about how he starts. The early gather, the barrel tip is just allowing him to really see the ball late, get into really good position.
2 out now as Spencer Horwitz steps up. 0 for 1 in the ball game. The average sits at 278. 4 home runs on the season for Spencer, and he would love to cash one right here with Vladdy on first and 2 away in this 4th inning. The 1-0 pitch coming. Rodon now tosses over to first, keeping Vladdy honest. Vlad has shown that he will take off sometimes. Not sure if he'd be going here against the lefty, but...
Yeah, probably not, but he'll pick his spots. With 2 outs, he might try an ambush.
The 1-0 pitch, and it drops in on the slider, 1-1.
What I have found on occasion is that sometimes pitchers will come set and they want an extra second or 2 to visualize the pitch, and they see the pitch clock behind him, so they'll use a step off as a disengagement to restart.
And back-to-back strikes now as that slider drops in, catching the outside edge. It's 1-2. Rodon trying to strike out the side after he struck out Lo Perfito, gave up a base hit to Guerrero, and then struck out Alejandro Kirk moments ago. Horwitz down in the count now, 1-2, steps out for a minute, gathers himself, now steps back in, sets the feet, and gets ready. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And it's fouled off by Horwitz. We'll do it again at 1-2. The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and catch every play at your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. Only have one other game going on in baseball right now. No score, top of the first with the Cardinals and Cubs. Yankees leading the Blue Jays 4-1, and Horwitz just fouled off another pitch to stay alive at 1-2. And I'll also update you on that Team Canada quarterfinal matchup in women's soccer. Still no score into the second half, 53 minutes into that soccer/football game. Fouled off again by Horwitz.
These are the type of at-bats you're really looking to see from the youngster Horwitz. Tough pitches being executed by Rodon. Outside, down and away, up and in. That last pitch, 97, up on the fist. Horwitz just gets enough to continue to try and outlast and win the battle.
We'll do it again. 1-2 pitch. Guess what? Fouled off again. Let me ask you right now. Lots of baseball to come still here, obviously, August, September, and then into the offseason. If I gave you 3 names, maybe even 4 if I throw Lo Perfido in, but I don't know if we're at that point yet. Clement, Schneider, Horwitz. How many of those 3, if any, are everyday players next year?
1.
The 1-2 pitch, inside, high inside, it's 2-2.
As of right now, just 1 for me.
Do you know
and
which one?
It's Horwitz.
Okay. I would agree.
I do like what Clement's doing. Clement, to me, is your 26th man, your 4th infielder. He, to me, has earned a spot. Still need a lot more from Schneider, and TBD on Lo Perfido.
The 2-2 pitch coming now to Horwitz. Fouls it off yet again, and this long at-bat continues as the pitch count is now rising for Rodon.
I could easily see Lo Perfido being kind of a Kiermaier replacement where he and Varsho kind of mix and match a little bit. They're both left-handed hitters. Always nice to have a lefty up, but I need proven power in left field for next year.
Down low in the dirt. Nice patience there from Horwitz. He fights this count to full.
Just turning into a really, really solid at-bat. And yeah, there's no consolation prize for getting it to 3-2, working really hard, and then making it out. But it's showing the ability that he could potentially have left on left as an everyday player.
This is the 11th pitch of the at-bat, and it's inside, and Horwitz earns the walk to keep the inning alive, and it'll be 2 on with 2 away for Ernie Clement.
That at-bat right there, just the epitome of why I believe Spencer Horwitz will be an everyday second baseman in the big leagues. I think that he can hang in there against left-handers even after flying out in his first at-bat, just making the adjustment, seeing multiple pitches, being able to battle, not going to try and jailbreak and ambush early on because you're not confident in your left-on-left abilities, as that'll bring out pitching coach Matt Blake for the Yankees, probably just trying to give Rodon a little bit of a break here after such a long at-bat to Horwitz. But it's about not losing the front hip, and left on left, if you get a left-handed hitter as a catcher, reading the stance, reading the hitter, if right out the gate he loses that right hip and starts to try and ambush and pull, you know you got him on the outer halves. Horwitz is just staying firm, not cheating, not giving up, not pulling off, and that's what makes him have the ability to stay in there, hang in there, foul off pitches. As soon as you see a hitter cheat, not comfortable with the inner part, you know you got him away. Horwitz doesn't do that, which is why I think he can be an everyday big leaguer.
Clement stepping into the box for the first pitch from Rodon. And Ernie sends one to right field. And back on the track to make the grab is Juan Soto. So Clement gave it a ride, but not enough. And that will sit down the Blue Jays as they strand 2. And we head to the bottom of the 4th with the Yankees still leading 4-1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2menintruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2 men in a truck, 2 men in a truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day, Think 2 men in a truck, 2 men in a truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 men in a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Bichette powers the ball to left field. Going back, Peralta. It's out of here.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Eric Smith and Caleb Joseph with you in the Timber Mart broadcast booth as we get set to start the bottom of the fourth inning. With the Yankees still leading the Blue Jays 4-1, Alex Verdugo to lead things off. He is the leadoff hitter for the Yankees, so it's top of the order to start this fourth, and it's the first pitch from Berrios. The sinker is good. 0-1. Verdugo 0 for 2. A flyout and a groundout in this ballgame. And now fouls off the 0-1. He's quickly down 0-2. As Schneider makes the grab, and there's one away. 4-1. Yankees with the lead as Juan Soto now gets set to step in. With Aaron Judge on deck. A single in the first for Soto. He struck out in his last at-bat. Berrios comes set. And the first pitch to Soto. Outside, 1-0. And the 1-0 pitch too low, missing with the sinker, clocked at 95. It's 2-0. Game 3 of this series will come tomorrow, right around the same time, a little bit later. It's a 1:35 start on Sunday afternoon, as the Jays will then head back home to host the Orioles. The 2-0 pitch from Berrios catches the outside edge on a sinker again at 95. It's 2-1. And another one that looked outside and low is called a strike on Soto. He had one like that in his last at-bat, which eventually set up his strikeout. And he steps out of the box right now, shaking his head.
I think what's most impressive about this sequence is that
I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I want to hear it. I'm done with it. Okay? I let you go for 4 innings. That's it. That's it.
I kept my mouth shut so you could hear our field side microphone picking up very clearly Laz Diaz telling the Yankees, I'm done with it. I put up with it for 4 innings.
Love it.
The 2-2 pitch. Soto smacks it to center, but pretty much right at Loperfido, who only might have moved maybe a foot at best, makes the snag, and there's 2 away.
Anyone who knows Aaron Boone and follows the Yankees knows that he's passionate about defending his players when it comes to balls and strikes. Yeah, the strike zone's been a little bit suspect. The last DFX is in full. display here in this game. Couple pitches on the outer half, couple close pitches. It's been kind of all over the place, but Booney over there has been giving it to Diaz, and you finally heard Diaz say, "I'm not having it anymore. That's it." And Boone now has his mouth zipped.
First pitch to Aaron Judge is outside, and he holds off. 1-0 count. Interesting here that we're in the same situation as last inning. 4-1 with 2 out. And this time the Blue Jays are pitching to Judge. So why last time did they issue the free pass?
Yeah, that
makes no sense.
That's why I just could not quite put my finger on it. Uh-oh, Booney's about to go.
Well, they called that pitch a strike to Judge, and it was low and outside. It was almost the same spot as the first pitch. That one for sure was a strike, as the sinker comes in at 95, and it's 1-2.
There's no shot Aaron Boone makes it through this game. No shot.
And now Judge asks for time. Laz Diaz grants it as Judge steps out of the box. Picks something up out of the dirt, not sure what, tosses it aside, and now steps back in. Berrios comes set, trying to get the Jays out of the inning. The 1-2 pitch outside, 2-2. No good on that slurve. The 2-2 delivery. And Judge jumped on it and sends it foul just past the Blue Jay dugout on the third base side. Smacks into the wall. And we'll go again at 2-2.
I have had an umpire that may or may not have been Laz Diaz while playing, that during a hot summer day turned to a dugout and say, if I got to stay here in this heat, you're going to stay here in this heat, and would refuse to eject a manager. So I don't know. Maybe that's what's going on.
2-2. Low and outside, but I was waiting. I was waiting to see if Diaz punched him out. That no doubt was a ball. And the count is now full to Judge. Austin Wells on deck. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Judge sits down, and the Blue Jays get out of the inning unscathed. And in fact, they sit down the Yankees 1-2-3 as we go to the 5th. Toronto's still down 4-1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
From Jersey to Ibiza, they say it doesn't get sweeter. From the bustling streets of Lagos to the favelas of Rio. SiriusXM Tropics is a melting pot of rhythms from Africa, the Caribbean, and beyond. Get away to Tropics. One of more than 200 extra channels available in the SiriusXM app. And all week long on Channel 105 on most radios.
It's fantasy football season, because we say it is.
Travis Kelce, touchdown!
From fantasy football strategies to players you need to draft or avoid.
Christian McCaffrey is one of the riskiest #1 overall picks in fantasy football history.
Fantasy Sports Radio is your home to win.
There is no bigger value today than Dak Prescott.
If you're not preparing for the 2024 fantasy football season, you're already losing. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
If you love golf, then you should never turn off SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio. Our hosts have the best takes.
Tiger's impact on the game of golf, aside from how good he was at it, was something that I don't think we'll ever see again.
Talk to the biggest guests.
Scotty, you've had a year to celebrate. This year, I've just seen a lot of good results.
And can even help you with your own game.
Take the club and at address, open it up.
It's all golf, all the time. On SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio, Channel 92 in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy football players, learn winning strategies right now on Fantasy Sports Radio to help you draft a winning team on Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Fifth inning is brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins awarded another 150 grants worth $20,000 to entrepreneurs across Canada. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz at goodsparkgrants.ca. The fifth inning starts with Davis Schneider fouling off the first pitch. Carlos Rodon still in the ballgame just through pitch number 71. And he's ahead in the count now 0-1 to Schneider. Blue Jays down 4-1. And the 0-1 pitch down in the dirt. The curveball no good. 1-1. Schneider struck out in the second inning in his first and only at-bat, trying to make something happen here to start off this fifth inning. The 1-1 pitch. And Rodon drops in the curveball for a 1-2 count. Still no score in that women's soccer game as we take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by the St. Louis Bar and Grill. In the quarterfinal matchup against Germany, Canada, Germany, no score. And you hear the whistle in the background as Davis Schneider strikes out for the second time in this ball game. There's one away. Leo Jimenez comes up with one down. He'll try to get things going, as the Blue Jays have only mustered 2 hits on the afternoon. First pitch, no good. It's high on a fastball, 1-0. Rodon with the pitch. Swing and a miss. And it's 1-1. And that pitch from the lefty too far inside. That curveball no good. It's now 2-1.
I think that curveball's been a really big pitch for Rodon in the speed differentials. Working at 81, 83. That fastball can get up to 97. You're talking about 15 mile per hour difference. That's huge for him.
The 2-1 pitch up high. There's the 97 right there, but he missed it. And now a 3-1 count to Jimenez.
And especially up in the zone, it starts to play up. About 100 is what it feels like as you're trying to hit that pitch, especially when he gets it to the top. It plays off the curveball. You've got these 2 different angles. Then he can go drop it down below with a changeup. All these tunneling possibilities there for Rodon.
Here's the 3-1. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch there. Uncorked the fastball at 96, and it's now 3-2. Stuart Berrios on deck. Hoping to come up with at least one on. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Jimenez and another strikeout. This one clocked at 98. Back-to-back strikeouts for both Schneider and Jimenez, not just in this inning, but in this game. Schneider struck out the first at-bat, struck out moments ago. Jimenez struck out moments ago. And guess what? First at-bat for Stuart Berrios, strikeout. Hoping to change the pattern right here with 2 away in the 5th inning. 7 strikeouts in the ballgame for Carlos Rodon. And the first pitch, no good. A little bit high. Missed that fastball at 97. Berrios ahead 1-0. And now 2-0. A pitch that was pretty close to that outside edge is called a ball by Laz Diaz. Top 5, Blue Jays down by 3. The 1-1 pitch slapped foul up and over the first base dugout, and now Berrios down 1-2.
You know Rodon wants to get you out with a fastball, with probably the slider underneath. It's all about protecting pitches. How can you protect it? Well, he's using that curveball and that changeup to really protect those others.
The 1-2 pitch. And Berrios gets a piece of that one, sends it out to center. Easy grab for Grisham to make the catch. Sit down, Berrios, and sit down the Jays. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Toronto still trailing 4-1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Get in the flow with the channel of unforgettable R&B from back when Beyonce went solo. Through Drake's unstoppable rise. That's why I need a one dance. To when SZA dropped Control. I just keep him satisfied through the weekend. Feel the energy and emotion of 2000s and 2010s R&B in the flow. Channel 48 and on the SiriusXM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
While you're listening to This Game on SiriusXM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 159.
Our goal is to win the Super Bowl. That's it for us.
Hear every stop of the 2024 training camp tour on NFL Radio Channel 88, the all-new SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the fifth inning as we take a look at the injury report brought to you by Bergmanis Prera Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Prera Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Prera will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. First pitch to Austin Wells, good for a strike and an 0-1 count. Luckily for the Blue Jays, not a whole lot to talk about in terms of injuries. I'll tell you about a couple of banged-up bodies in a second as Berrios misses on the second pitch. It's now 1-1. Alejandro Kirk with a bit of an issue with that left arm, right around the elbow, upper forearm, missed a couple of games. Just kind of banged up, though. Nothing to be overly concerned about, and he's back in the lineup today for the Blue Jays, catching right now as Berrios sends the pitch to Kirk. He bobbles it for a moment, picks it up. It's a ball, 2-1. And the only other injury, quote-unquote, to talk about was George Springer, who fouled a pitch off his left leg in last night's game, but he is playing today, not playing in the field. He is DHing, but at least he's in the lineup for Toronto, so no worse for the wear. And one other note, maybe, Caleb, I think we talked about it briefly yesterday. Swing and a miss from Wells. It's now 2-2. It's not an injury, but again, it's a roster move. Ryan Yarbrough is up with the Jays. We didn't see him last night, but we very well could today against the Yanks.
And he brings a dynamic look. Lefty, sidearm.
And Berrios just sat down Wells with the strikeout to start this fifth inning. And if we go back to the end of the fourth, it's back-to-back strikeouts now for Berrios, trying to find a groove, despite the fact that he's trailing 4-1.
Had his first clean inning of the ball game in the fourth. Exactly what you're looking for. Continuation of these clean innings allow him to get a little bit deeper, save a little bit more of the bullpen.
Gleyber Torres steps in, first pitch, a strike down Main Street, clocked at 95, 0-1 count. Torres, 10 homers, and 42 runs batted in on the season. And now quickly down 0-2. That pitch catching the outside edge. Torres looks over at Laz Diaz and gets an explanation and digs back in. Here's the 0-2 delivery from Berrios. And Torres sends it past a diving Jimenez at short, and Leo couldn't get to that one. A base hit for Gleyber Torres, who puts one on with one out.
4 Blue Jays relievers helping to finish the game last night with a quick turnaround. Back-to-back days are always a little bit risky, especially as you get deeper into the season. You try not to go back-to-back with relievers. You're going to have to sometimes, but especially when you're coming off of a night game, early day game, you really don't want to use those. So imperative for Berrios to go deep, save a couple of these arms in the bullpen.
Brings up Jazz Chisholm, 1 for 1 in the ball game. A base hit and a walk with a man on. Chisholm down 0-1. And now it's 1-1. I was waiting to see if Diaz might call that one a strike. Even in the count now. Berrios over 80 pitches, 82 to be exact, here in the fifth inning. Here's the 1-1. And they came a little bit inside to Chisholm. Vladdy grabs it, steps on the bag, throws to second, and diving in safely under the tag is Torres. So the Yankees will have a man in scoring position with 2 away.
Ball hit right up the first baseline. Vladdy holding the runner on, takes just one step to his left, and it kind of takes a weird hop. Vladdy kind of corrals it, steps on first as he's trying to transfer, much like Horwitz earlier on in the game. Just can't quite get the handle, then has to throw sidearm. Is thrown a bit up the line. Leo Jimenez has to jump on the other side of the base, and at that point, Torres is in safe at second base.
First pitch now to Volpe is good for a strike. Anthony Volpe comes up 0 for 2 in the ball game, but a runner in scoring position with Gleyber Torres out at second. Eric Smith and Caleb Joseph in the Timber Mart broadcast booth midway through this ball game with the Yankees leading 4-1. And that one fouled off by Volpe, and he's quickly down 0-2.
Talk about those little inches in a major league game, extra outs. Yes, it took a little bit of a tricky hop on Vladdy Guerrero Jr. at first base, but I think 9 times out of 10 he cleanly fields that ball, touches first base, then throws to second base to get the inning-ending double play. Now Berrios has to throw a few more pitches with the runner in scoring position. Just these little plays that the Blue Jays haven't been able to secure in this game.
Volpe stares down and now quickly turning and trying to keep the runner honest at second. Gleyber Torres slides back into the bag, and it looks like he might have hurt his knee a little bit. He gets up kind of rubbing that left knee as Berrios gets the ball back and gets set for the 0-2 to Volpe. Yankees up 4-1 here, bottom 5. Here's the pitch. And Volpe got underneath it. He gave it a ride to left field, and it's going to make it up and over the wall. It just kept traveling, and it's a 2-run shot. A 2-strike 2-run shot for Anthony Volpe, and the Yankees have now opened up a 6-1 lead.
Literally just said it, the extra outs. We saw it in the second inning. Error on Horwitz to Ben Rice. Very next batter, Trent Grisham homers. It's not going to go down as an error on the Jazz Chisholm ground ball, but that should have been an inning double play. Instead, Volpe gets down 2 strikes, a hang and slurve that kind of backs up, finishes middle in. Volpe a little bit out in front, but keeps the angle of the bat moving nice through the ball, creates liftoff, and before you know it, another 2 runs on the board.
And now the first pitch to Rice. Ben Rice, the left-handed bat, playing at first, batting .203. He's 0 for 2 in this ball game. First pitch is outside, 1-0 count. And now the second pitch looked outside but called a strike, and it's 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. That was pitch 88. With the Blue Jays now down 6-1, I wonder if this is it for Berrios if we see him in the 6th.
Especially probably short a little bit in the bullpen.
And the 1-2 pitch down in the dirt, missed with the changeup. It's 2-2.
They are coming off an off day on Thursday, so that always helps to kind of build in some rest. But again, with the early turnaround, I always hated going back to back with relievers. It's just such a fast turnaround for them that you try and stay away from those guys that pitched last night.
And the 2-2 pitch down low, missed with that one. The sinker clocked at 96. It's now 3-2. Trying to get out of this inning and limit the damage with 2 more in for the Yankees. The 3-2 pitch is fouled off right toward the Yankee dugout. We'll do it again at 3-2. Here's the pitch to Rice. And he got a piece of it, but it's squeezed by Kirk, so it's a strikeout for Berrios. That ends the inning, but the Yankees get 2 more and extend their lead now to 6-1 as we head to the 6th inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey,
Jays fans, ready to hit a home run with your next roofing project? Step up to the plate with GAF Timberline HDZ shingles, the official roofing shingle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Just like our Jays, GAF Timberline HDZ shingles deliver top performance with unmatched durability and protection. So, to cover your bases, choose the winning team. Visit your local Home Depot or shop online at homedepot.ca for all your roofing shingles and accessories.
Game with us, but you haven't hit that subscribe button yet. Come on, hit that subscribe button and help grow this amazing community of Toronto sports fans that we have here. You know you enjoy hanging out and listening to the games with us and having some fans to talk to. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button and make sure that bell is on. So everybody who has subscribed, thank you. But make sure that bell is turned on so that you get notified every single time we go live here on TSI. Whether it's the Blue Jays, we've got hockey season coming up, the Maple Leafs, the Argos, Bills games coming up as well. We'll see you guys back in the chat. Let's go Blue Jays.
On The Bachelorette.
Jen is truly a woman of a man's dreams.
I just feel so hopeful.
But finding the one.
I'm falling for you, and I'm not afraid to say it.
What could go wrong?
Will be easier said than done.
This is all a show to you, bro. You stand no chance.
Do you think you're ready for an engagement? I just don't want to choose the wrong person again.
The Bachelorette. All new Mondays 8, 7 Central on City TV. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fastball cracked to center field, to the wall, to the track. It's gone.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Sixth inning is brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins is a big fan of small biz. That's why they awarded another $3 million to small business owners across the country. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz this year at goodsparkgrants.ca. Getting set to start this sixth inning, and George Springer, as he steps into the box, shares a quick conversation and a laugh and a smile with Laz Diaz, the home plate umpire, and we are set to go with the Yankees leading 6-1. Carlos Rodon still in the ball game, and why not? He has pitched very well today. That was pitch 85 he just threw, a ball to George Springer to start this sixth inning. The 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. It's 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch down in the dirt, missed with the changeup. Now 2-1. Springer ahead in the count. And that one in the upper part of the zone, but looked like it was in there on the changeup. It's now 2-2. Springer 0 for 2 on the afternoon. His Blue Jays down 6-1. And down low, just below the zone. Springer holds off on the slider to force this to a full count. Outside and high. They look down at first, and Tripp Gibson says no, Springer didn't go, and that's the right call. And it's a walk to start this sixth inning for Toronto.
Yeah, good at bat by Springer, not chasing, had a couple tough pitches that he swung through and then laid off a couple close ones. The Yankee tenure for Rodon did not start off well. Injured for quite a bit of time, came back, did not pitch very well. A lot of Yankees fans were probably wondering, oh no, is this going to be a really dreaded signing? But he has turned it on for them and looked really good, especially in this ball game.
Brings up Joey Loperfido with a flyout and a strikeout, an 0 for 2 day for one of the newest Blue Jays. The left-handed bat of Loperfido. A strike on the first pitch and a ball on the second inside the fastball, clocked at 98. The 1-1, a big cut from Loperfido on an inside fastball, clocked at 97. He tried to get after that one, and he's now down 1-2. Top of the 6th. Blue Jays down 6-1. The 1-2 pitch. And it looks like Springer was taking off on that one, but Loperfido fouled it off. So George is going to have to trot back to first and keep an eye to see if he takes off again.
Yeah, and I have no idea how in the world Loperfido was able to even get wood on this ball, much less not have his bat break. 98 up and in, probably 4 to 6 inches off the plate.
And the next pitch comes way inside. Loperfido quickly contorting out of the way, and as he spins and twists, his helmet comes flying off, and somehow that pitch didn't hit him.
Yeah, slider from Rodon that just slips right out of the hand, starts right at the head, and Loperfido's saving grace is that it was a slider. Had it been a fastball, he would be down for the count right now.
The 2-2 pitch, Loperfido slaps at it, sends it foul down that third base side, and it will stay at 2-2.
And how that slider did not hit him is beyond me. It looked like it was just centered right in his back and just started curving towards the plate right at the last minute, missing the shoulder by millimeters.
The 2-2, another one fouled off down the third base side by Loperfido. That one got up to 99, I believe, the fastest we've seen of the day from Rodon.
He's got really, really good stuff. This is another really nice at-bat, left on left. Tough matchup with Rodon. Loperfido really hanging in there, especially after almost getting hit the previous pitch. He's doing a nice job.
Guess what? Another one fouled down the third base side, out into left field, actually. We'll do it again at 2-2. Pitch 99 right here from Rodon, and he strikes out Loperfido on a pitch high and inside. Got him with the fastball at 98, and there's one away. And now Aaron Boone walking out to the mound. Looks like Rodon wants to stay in. He's got a couple of words for Boone, as Boone now chats with his starter. He's going to keep him in there.
So we have the advantage of kind of reading lips. I could hear a little audio. I think I heard him say, that's 98 up and in. That's not my last pitch. Like, I'm feeling it. He's at 99 pitches. Aaron Boone comes out, going to have a conversation. Normally when the manager comes out, he's making the change, but he allows Rodon to talk him into facing Vladdy Guerrero Jr., who, as if you remember, already has 2 hits off of him, a homer in the first inning. This is baseball. I love this. Whether it works out or not is to be seen, but Rodon just talked Aaron Boone right back into the dugout. Let's see if he's going to reward him with that decision.
And he throws over to first, trying to keep Springer honest. Remember, Springer took off at one point during that Loperfido at bat. So he's certainly thinking about it with Vladdy at the plate. The average now up to 317 for Guerrero. Toronto down 6-1. And the first pitch misses high, a little bit outside as well. 1-0 count to Guerrero. The out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by the St. Louis Bar and Grill. The Cubs lead the Cardinals 4-1, top of the third. And in Olympic soccer, still no score in the quarterfinal matchup between Canada and Germany. The 1-0 pitch fouled off by Guerrero down the first base side. It's now 1-1.
I got him. I got him. That's what he's telling Aaron Boone. Rodon, he's saying, I got him. Let me stay in this game. I got him.
Well, let's see right here. The 1-1 from Rodon. Missing inside on a pitch clocked at 96. That fastball no good. It's 2-1. Jays down by 5. And inside again, clocked at 98 on the fastball. So he's certainly showing the juice. Just can't find the location right now against Vladdy. Guerrero ahead, 3-1 in the count, with Springer at first. And now Guerrero swings at the 3-1, sends it up and over the backstop, and the count is full.
A very healthy hack on the 3-0 heater from Guerrero Jr. Fastball down and in, barely misses it. That ball flies straight back. Just a little bit late. 3-2 count here. My question is it a heater? Is it a curve? Back foot slider? I would guess he goes with spin in this 3-2 count.
Let's see. The 3-2 pitch. And Guerrero sends it down the first base line. It's a fair ball as it just caught the inside part of the line. And Guerrero sliding into second with yet another double. And now second and third for the Blue Jays with only one away. And here comes Aaron Boone.
And that'll be it for Rodon. And that is why I am here doing radio, not making decisions. The analytics department are laughing, saying, see, we told you, should have taken him out. 100-mile-per-hour fastball in the outer half. Vladdy shoots it down the right field line, but that's going to be the end of the line for Rodon.
So as he comes out of the ball game, the Blue Jays are trying to put together a rally here in this sixth inning. It'll be Alejandro Kirk stepping up with 2 on and just 1 out as we go back to baseball control with Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Eric and Kayla. Before we check the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk this afternoon. Nick Ashbourne is here with me at Baseball Control. He and I have Jays Talk after the final out. We'll take your calls and texts. You can text us right now, 590-590, name and location. That's the People's Text Line. Standard data and messaging rates do apply. We'll throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. All right, let's check the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Today's Olympic action. Right now, the women's soccer team on the go, taking on Germany in the quarterfinals. 0-0 with about 30 seconds to go in added time. So likely go into extra time. If they win, they are through to the semis, where the United States, fresh off a 1-0 extra time win over Japan, awaits. In the pool, a historic race in the men's 100-meter butterfly final. Josh Liendo and Ilya Haroun both finishing atop the podium. A silver for Liendo, a bronze for Haroun, so congrats to them. The gold going to Hungary. For the women, Summer McIntosh and Sydney Pickerham competing in the 200-meter individual medley a bit later on as well. From earlier in the day in women's rowing, it's back-to-back podiums for Team Canada. The women's rowing eights grabbing the silver. Congratulations to them. And Damian Warner's defense of his Olympic gold in the men's decathlon has unfortunately come to an end. Second place he was heading into the pole vault competition, but knocked down the bar in all 3 attempts, which takes him out of medal contention. Afterwards, the COC did announce that he's withdrawn from the remainder of the competition prior to the final 2 events. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action. Here's Eric Smith and Caleb Joseph.
All right, thanks very much, Show. Blue Jays will try to keep this inning going with just 1 away and 2 on as they try to mount the comeback, trailing 6-1. Jake Cousins into the ball game. And he inherits 2 runners. First pitch to Alejandro Kirk is punched into right field, fair. That's going to score at least 1, and it should plate 2. And it will, as Vladdy comes around to score. And Kirk brings the Blue Jays a little bit closer. It's 6-3.
Just told you about relievers coming in on back-to-back games, especially following a 7 p.m. game into a 1 o'clock game. Cousins pitched in last night's game, and Kirk just ambushes him right at the gate. 95 on the inner half. Kirk stays short and quick, shoots it down that right field line.
And I give him credit for the fact that he was able to hustle his way around to second base. I mean, that was into short right field, but he still got there because it was a long run for Soto. And even with Soto's arm, Kirk was still able to get this. Check that. I apologize, folks. He did not get to second base. He did not get to second base.
He made a really hard turn. He was really considering it.
He made the hard turn, and quite honestly, I'm not trying to. I gave him credit earlier, so now I can take back some of the credit. He made that hard turn, then the camera flashed off, and I thought that he was at second because the graphic actually on our screen had shown that Alejandro was at second base, but he is at first, so not wanting to test that arm, I suppose, of Juan Soto. And he's going to be staying at first base as he quickly scrambles back to the bag as Spencer Horwitz lines out to second. Gleyber Torres with the grab, and there's 2 away.
This game suddenly got interesting once those 2 runs come in off the bat of Kirk. Rodon's finishing line is 5 1/3, 3 hits, 3 earned runs. Really only 1 that he gave up. Of course, 2 are going to be given up off the arm of Cousins.
And a hot shot on the first pitch. Same result, essentially, for Ernie Clement. A line out to third, not second, but back-to-back lineouts for the Blue Jays to strand Kirk at first. But the Blue Jays do get 2 as they now trail 6-3 going to the bottom of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Busted Open hits the road for the biggest party of the summer. The coverage is heating up as we gear up for WWE SummerSlam in Cleveland, Ohio. Don't miss Dave LaGreca and his Hall of Fame cast and crew as they dive into the biggest storylines and speak to the biggest guests in and out of the ring. What titles will change hands? Who will make a return? Will there be any surprises? No one will get you ready for SummerSlam like Busted Open. Tune in every day from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern on Sirius XM Fight Nation, channel 156, and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
I'm John Paul Morosi, host of the SiriusXM original podcast, The Road to Cooperstown. Each week, I talk with a Baseball Hall of Famer about the challenges they overcame to become an all-time great.
It is a hard game, and mentally it's hard.
My legs started shaking.
They pretty much knew I was going to have lung surgery after the season. I wasn't for sure. Would I ever play baseball again?
The Road to Cooperstown is the official podcast of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. Episodes are available now on the all-new SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
And the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Eric Smith and Caleb Joseph with you as we get set to start the bottom half of the 6th inning. Eric Swanson into the ball game now for the Blue Jays. So the day is done for Jose Berrios. Swanson will try and slow down the Yankee bats as the Blue Jays are trying to mount the comeback here. They were down 6-1, but they just got back 2, so it's 6-3 as Swanson comes into the ball game here, getting set for the first batter that he will face, Trent Grisham, the center fielder. Blue Jays won the opener last night 8-5. And now trailing in this ball game after they had the early lead. It was 1-0 thanks to a solo home run from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. But the Yankees got back 2 in the bottom half of the first off a 2-run shot from Aaron Judge, and they haven't looked back since. They've been in control since the bottom of the first. Still on top by 3, 6-3, and another homer in this game from this man right here, Trent Grisham. In fact, the Yankees have 3 home runs. 3 separate 2-run shots have equated for their offense. 1 for Judge, 1 for Grisham, and 1 for Anthony Volpe. Grisham now down 0-2 to Swanson. Swanson looks in at the sign from Kirk. He comes set, the leg kick and the delivery. And just missing outside with that splitter. 1-2. Here's the 1-2 delivery. And Grisham gets underneath it, sends it into left field, camping underneath it, fighting the sun, but then making the grab is Davis Schneider, and there's one away.
Swanson, a huge piece of the Toronto Blue Jays bullpen 2023. 2024 just did not start off the way that he wanted it to. Was optioned down to AAA, started the season on the injured list, just did not recover. It was all about the action of the split. Spoke to him recently since being recalled. He really talked about feeling good with that split movement. And since being recalled, the action on it has looked normal. He's been able to get that fastball on the top, and he's looked like he's back to his normal zeros that he typically throws up.
Back to the top of the order we go for the Yankees. Fourth at bat of the ball game for Alex Verdugo. And the 0-1 count to Verdugo now goes 1-1 as Swanson just missed on the second pitch. That splitter no good. Back on the 1-1, missed outside with a fastball. It's 2-1. Shai Davidi just sending out this note, so I'll give him the credit for passing along the congratulations to the Canadian women's national team who just claimed bronze at the Women's World Baseball Cup in Thunder Bay, Ontario. So again, bronze medalists, the Canadian women at the World Cup of Baseball for women in Thunder Bay, Ontario. Now a 3-1 count to Alex Verdugo trying to get on for Juan Soto with one away here in the sixth. The 3-1 pitch is fouled off, and now the count is full. No, it's not. It's going to stay in fair territory as it drifts back in. It looked like it was headed for the stands, and then it comes back over the line, actually into fair territory. Making the grab is Schneider, and there's two away. Six-3 Blue Jays trailing, the Yankees here in the sixth inning as Juan Soto steps up with two away as the Blue Jays try to get out of this inning unscathed, and perfect placement for Jimenez. He was right behind second base. That's exactly where Soto put it, on the ground, scooped up by Leo over to first to get the out, and the Yankees go down 1-2-3. On to the seventh inning we go. We'll see if the Jays bats can get going again. They're down 6-3. It's Toronto Blue Jays baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
Witches, wizards, and muggles, come down to the core as Roger Center transforms into Hogwarts. Harry Potter-themed entertainment and activities around the ballpark. Magic moments create core memories. So fly down to Roger Center on Friday, August 9th, and get one of 4 Blue Jays Harry Potter Hogwarts House Raglan shirts. Harry Potter Night. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
We're two men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck. The movers who care.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Center. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Francis kicks and delivers. Called strike 3, 95.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Eric Smith and Caleb Joseph with you in the Timber Mart broadcast booth as we get set to start the seventh inning with the Blue Jays trailing 6-3. Toronto just had a clean inning against the Yanks as Grisham, Verdugo, Soto went down 1-2-3. And this following the Blue Jays getting 2 runs in the 6th. So can they get it going again right here? We've got a substitution for the Blue Jays.
Dreamweaver.
Dalton Varsho will now come into the ball game for Davis Schneider, and Luke Weaver, as you just heard Caleb mentioning, comes in for Jake Cousins.
Teammates with Luke Weaver, 2019 Arizona.
So it was a short outing for Cousins as now Weaver takes over. And a first pitch to Varsho. Down in the count, 0-1. Next pitch down in the dirt outside. The changeup no good. It's 1-1. I've got to assume that Varsho will take over center and Loper Fiedel will slide back over to left field, but we'll make that official in the bottom half of the inning. Varsho, the left-handed bat against the righty Weaver, comes inside. Weaver does, and it's now 2-1 to Varsho.
Really resurrected his career here in New York as a reliever, mostly known as a starter. Came over from St. Louis, and the Paul Goldschmidt trade just did not work out.
A big cut, swing and a miss from Varsho. It's now 2-2.
But he's totally revamped his windup. Really not much of a leg kick. Takes that left foot, drops it back to start the windup, just barely picks it up and just kind of leans and momentums himself towards home plate for his motion.
And another one down in the dirt outside from Weaver. Missed with that changeup. It's 3-2.
But as everyone knows now, it's all about entertainment value, and when you come into the game, you've got your own walkout song. Well, of course, Luke Weaver's walkout song is Dreamweaver.
Of course it is.
You know when he's pitching.
Swing and a miss. Varsho sits down, and Weaver gets the K to start this 7th inning. There's one away.
Always found that was one of the toughest things to do, is pinch hit. And normally I was being pinch hit for because I wasn't very good, but the few times in blowout games that I went out there after sitting on the bench, yes, there's cages underneath you can try and get loose for, but getting up there and really getting after it, such a tough job.
Leo Jimenez steps in now. A big cut at the first pitch. A fastball clocked at 96. Swing and a miss. And an 0-1 count. The out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by the St. Louis Bar and Grill. The Canadian women are in extra time right now. In the 99th minute, still no score against Germany in that quarterfinal matchup, women's soccer. Now down 0-2. Jimenez fouls one off as he tries to stay alive right here in this at-bat. Blue Jays down 6-3, top 7. That one high, clocked at 97. It's 1-2. We're exactly 2 hours into this ball game with Ryan Burr warming up in the Blue Jay bullpen. Eric Swanson just came in to start this inning. I'm talking about obviously back in the 6th inning. We'll see if he's still around in the 7th. Swing and a miss. Jimenez sits down. There's 2 away. Back-to-back strikeouts for Weaver.
Felt like he had a good fastball when I caught him in 2019, but it definitely wasn't of this velocity. Pretty much 93, 95. But he's cranking it up 97, 98 as a reliever with regularity.
Now Addison Barger comes into the ballgame in place of Stuart Baroa. The left-handed bat of Barger. A big cut at the first pitch. He chased the changeup and down 0-1. Barger batting 197. Second pitch outside. It's 1-1.
Had a nice series in Baltimore right before coming to New York. Recorded his first major league home run. Then the very next day hit another one. So good for Barger.
Missing outside. A little bit low as well. That fastball no good. Clocked at 96. Barger held off. Now 2-1. In the midst of a 4-game hit streak, to your point, as he got things going against the Orioles. 4 extra base hits with 7 runs batted in during this hit streak. And now he's ahead in the count 3-1, trying to keep this inning alive with 2 away.
And the swing looked a little bit more controlled. It's going to be a violent swing. There's a lot of power involved, but it did look like he had shortened it just a little bit in that series versus the O's.
The 3-1 pitch is outside, just missing. Weaver wanted that call, didn't get it. And it's a free pass for Addison Barger to bring up the top of the order. It'll be George Springer, who walked in his last at-bat and ultimately came around to score on the Alejandro Kirk single. We'll see if he can get on right here to keep this inning going. Blue Jays down 6-3, top 7. First pitch is in for a strike. 0-1 count. Outside on the 0-1. That fastball clocked at 96. No good. It's 1-1. Weaver gets the sign. Comes set. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Springer down in the count, 1-2. Weaver looking to strike out the side here, as he already sat down Dalton Varsho and Leo Jimenez. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And it's low but called a strike, and Springer can't believe it. He turns and immediately argues with Laz Diaz, and here comes John Schneider as well. Springer nodding his head and I guess agreeing with Diaz. Schneider comes over and still wants to get in a word. Not like it's going to change, so we're going to step aside for the break, but we'll let you know if Schneider's still in this game when we continue. As the Blue Jays go to the bottom of the 7th, trailing 6-3. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today.
Hey, what's up, insiders? Just checking out the social media pages, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, whatever you call it. Make sure you guys check us out. Hit that handle up down there on whatever social media network you have, whether it be Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Go find us and make sure you hit that follow button. We're doing a lot more stuff with the shorts and some highlights and videos. So make sure to go check out our social media pages and drop a follow. Putting a big focus on that one to help continue to grow this amazing community. Appreciate all of you guys hanging out with us. We'll see you back in the chat.
So big, on this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. How about 99 right down the middle, beats Manzardo.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you at Baseball Control. The Jays trail the Yankees 6-3 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning at Yankee Stadium in New York. Don't forget, we have Jays Talk tonight. Nick Ashbourne is here at Baseball Control with me. He and I will take your calls and texts once this game is over. 590-590, name and location is where you can text us. That's the People's Text Line. It is always open. Standard data and messaging rates may apply. You can certainly call us as well. As always, I'll throw out the numbers for you to call. You guys know the drill. Once this game is over. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, it's another gold medal for Summer McIntosh. She wins gold in the 200-meter individual medley, pulling ahead in the final 50 meters, the last lap. She wins her 3rd gold of these games, her 4th overall medal, adding a silver as well. Elsewhere in the pool, Josh Liendo and Ilya Haroun both finishing atop the podium in the men's 100-meter butterfly final. A silver for Liendo and a bronze for Haroun. Congrats to the guys. It's the first double podium for Canada at a Summer Games since the 1976 Summer Olympics. in Montreal. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. The Jays trail the Yankees 6-3, bottom 7 at Yankee Stadium in New York. Here's Eric Smith and Caleb Joseph with the call.
All right, thanks very much, Joe. And that conversation between Laz Diaz and John Schneider did continue as both gentlemen walked toward the Blue Jay dugout, took off their hats during God Bless America. And in the process of Schneider and Diaz having a conversation, Kevin Gausman got in on the argument, had a few words to say, and Gausman got tossed from the game.
Yeah, not very normal for a non-player to be ejected, but sometimes the starters, especially if you pitch the night before, you're not doing anything, and he gets in on it and gets ejected.
We saw it a couple of weeks ago, and I'm trying to remember who it was against, but Chris Bassett.
Arizona.
Was it Arizona?
Arizona check swings. Gabe Morales at first base. He got ejected, thrown out of the game right before the All-Star break. So, wow.
Yep.
Gausman ejected.
6-3, Yankees leading the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 7th inning as Aaron Judge starts things off for New York. Facing Ryan Burr into the ballgame, and the first pitch no good, but the second one painted on the outside edge, a fastball at 95. And it's 1-1. The 1-1 outside on a slider, that one no good, down in the dirt. 2-1 now to Aaron Judge. Judge 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Didn't chase that one outside again. The slider no good. It's 3-1.
Burr's really interesting for me. Love the shape of the breaking ball. Really good downer action. Acquired from the Phillies. Was striking out the world in AAA. Now getting a really good long extended look with the Blue Jays. As he'll walk Judge. Slider down in the dirt. Leadoff walk for Burr. But when you're looking at the pieces of the puzzle for the Blue Jays going into 2025, obviously Garcia has been traded. Richards has been traded. There might be a couple moves or non-moves made. You're looking at probably 3 or 4 spots in the bullpen. A heavy part of the piece of the puzzle. They're going to have to retool. Burr could be one of these pieces if he shows well.
First pitch now into Wells is good for a strike. And an 0-1 count to Austin Wells. 1 for 2 in the afternoon. The left-handed bat. The Yankee catcher batting .242 on the season. With New York leading Toronto 6-3 as Wells slaps one foul down the third base side. And he's quickly down in the count 0-2. Still an extra time in that quarterfinal matchup on the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by the St. Louis Bar and Grill. Canada and Germany, no score. They've played an hour and 5 minutes. So this thing could be headed to penalties. Swing and a miss. And Burr sits down Wells. There's one away.
He's got just enough fastball, in my opinion, at the top of the zone to really complement that downer slider. This is a fastball up and away to Wells. Misses right underneath it. And does he have the potential to miss bats? That's what the Blue Jays are looking for from their relievers. And so far, even though he's sporting a 4.5 ERA, I like what I'm seeing out of him.
Gleyber Torres comes up, slaps at the first pitch, sends it foul up and over the dugout on the first base side, and he's down 0-1. Batting .234, he singled in the 5th inning and eventually came around to score. He's 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Blue Jays down 6-3. Yankees have a man on first. That's Aaron Judge. Burr looks over his shoulder at Judge, turns, fires, and a nice block at the plate by Alejandro Kirk. That one was down in the dirt, and a 1-1 count. Now 2-1. The slider low and outside. The 2-1 pitch almost in the same spot. And nice patience there by Torres. It looked like he was going to go after it, held off at the last second, and it finished low and a 3-1 count. Here's the 3-1 to Torres. Burr with the leg kick. And high on the fastball, no good. Burr issues another walk, and it's 2 on with just 1 out for Jazz Chisholm.
I think it's one of these positions where Burr might have to throw a fastball down in the zone here and there, because he's thrown a number of different sliders that are finishing in a really nice spot, probably underneath the zone, probably balls. They're starting off strike and then moving down to that ball area to get a little bit more bite from the hitter. You got to make them respect that lower half, usually with a fastball. But when you're pretty much pigeonholed into up fastball, down slider, it's an easier take.
Chisholm looks at the first pitch outside. The fastball no good, clocked at 95, a 1-0 count. Big at bat right here for Ryan Burr. Or if you want to look at it from a Yankee perspective, big at bat for them. And Chisholm got underneath one, sends one into right field. It's back on the track, but underneath it, fighting the sun. Barger makes the grab, quickly turns to fire it in, but not before Judge can tag and advance to third. So it's runners on the corners for the Yankees with 2 away.
Fastball middle down from Burr to Chisholm. You could just hear the sound, had that little faint barrel sound, which means he gets it off the end of the bat. He was on time in terms of direction, but just ran out of the sweet spot of the barrel just a little bit off the end. Had he gotten it a little bit more towards the barrel, I guarantee you that would have flown out to right center field. Ball lands on the warning track. The good arm of Barger holds Torres to second base. Bring up Volpe with runners on the corners.
A 2-run shot in this game back in the 5th inning for Anthony Volpe. And the first pitch from Burr catches the upper part of the zone. Got him with the slider, 0-1 count. 6-3 Yankees, they're looking to add at least one more right here with Judge in scoring position. And Gleyber Torres at first. And this one dribbled off the end of the bat from Volpe, and he's quickly down 0-2. Yankees up 6-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. And now Burr steps off the rubber, fakes the throw over to first. Certainly thinking about Gleyber Torres over there. Obviously Torres would love to move up and get into position for Volpe, already with Judge at third. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And Volpe reaches down and drops one into left field. A little bloop single will indeed cash in Aaron Judge, and it extends the Yankee lead to 7-3. That's a tough break for Burr.
Sure is. That's a really good 2-strike pitch. Not anywhere close to the zone. Middle down, probably bounces, and Kirk has to block it if Volpe doesn't make contact. But much like the cutoff swing of Trent Grisham for the home run, this is just kind of an excuse me rear going to third base. The left hand just kind of scoops the ball, barely finishes the swing, just kind of accidentally reaches out there with it, gets just enough under it to put it right in between that little Bermuda Triangle. Tough break for Burr as he made a really good pitch in that at bat.
So now first and second with 2 away, and the first pitch to Rice. Ben Rice is outside. Ball 1. Rice, the left-handed bat. The Yankee first baseman is 0 for 3 this afternoon. Reached on an error back in the 2nd inning and scored, but otherwise hasn't been able to do much at the plate. Fouls off the next pitch. It's 1-1. Yankees with a 7-3 lead. Bottom 7 in game 2 of this 3-game series. Down low in the dirt, missed with that slider. now 2-1.
I think when evaluating some of these younger, newer pitchers, for me, I'm looking for two things: consistency of shape in the breaking balls and consistency in location. Burr has shown that, but at the end of the day, walks are inexcusable at this point in the game, and the walks have really killed Burr in terms of prolonging the inning as the 2-1 pitch is taken outside for a ball, a fastball in the outer half. Yuri Rodriguez warming in the Blue Jays bullpen, but leadoff walks score about 45% of the time in the big leagues. Make them hit the ball.
And now Rice sends one opposite field, fighting the sun, but then ultimately making the grab is Loperfido, and the Blue Jays get out of the inning. On to the 8th we go. Toronto down 7-3. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
After 10 years, Billy Joel's residency at Madison Square Garden has come to an end. Feel the energy and emotion of the final concert. And hear every magic moment. Playing throughout the week, exclusively on the Billy Joel channel. The Final Residency Concert, SiriusXM, Channel 79, and on the SiriusXM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
Nothing matches the passion, the excitement, the history-making moments of college sports. And nobody takes you inside the greatest campuses and stadiums across the country like SiriusXM College Sports Radio. Listen to all of the play-by-play action, expert analysis, and in-depth interviews with your favorite team. No matter the season, we have something for you. Your home for all things college sports is on SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Hi, this is Alexa. Did you know you can listen to this game on devices with Amazon Alexa? Download the SiriusXM app, then tell me to play the Blue Jays on SiriusXM.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. Toronto down 7-3 now in this ball game as Joey Loperfido will get set to start things off for the Blue Jay offense.
Canley, part of the back end of the Yankees bullpen, has had a really nice season. 28 games, 2.2 ERA. 31 strikeouts and 24 and a third innings pitched. He's been solid for the Yankees this year.
So Canley comes on in relief here, and the first pitch is good for a strike to Loperfido. Second one, Loperfido sends it into right field past the second baseman, Gleyber Torres, and the Blue Jays start things off with the first man on here in the 8th inning. DJ LeMahieu has come into the game as well, taking over at first base.
Really small sample size, but been really impressed with Loperfido's adjustability, his ability to really get down, hinge, and kind of swing at the ball where it's pitched without sacrificing angle or bat speed, not decelerating to hit the ball. Very, very unique skill set that I'm liking the more and more I see this young player's major league career.
First pitch to Vladdy from Canley right down Main Street, and Vladdy taking the whole time. Guerrero 3 for 3 this afternoon. The average continues to climb up to 318. Big cut on the 0-1, and he's quickly down 0-2. Swing and a miss. He chased it inside, and Guerrero strikes out, sits down for the first time in this game.
Vladdy doesn't get a hit. What in the world's going on? Really nasty split finger from the right-hander. Looks like it's right down the middle and then just starts to dart down and in towards the back foot of Guerrero Jr. Just swings right over the top of it. He is not an easy at-bat, especially when that split finger is working for him.
Brings up Alejandro Kirk and a soft dribbler out to short. The Yankees flip it to second. Over to first for one. The double play quickly gets New York out of the inning. And ultimately the Jays go down here in the 8th. So it looked like they might have a chance to maybe get a rally going, but they waste the leadoff base hit for Loperfido and ultimately go down 1-2-3. On to the bottom half of the 8th we go. Jays down 7-3. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
So, you want to be a Looney Dogger, eh? Every Tuesday Blue Jays home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Grab $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around Rogers Center. Plus, stop by the Schneider's Porch, your hot dog headquarters. The destination for a one-of-a-kind hot dog experience with excellent ballpark views.
What's up, Insiders? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. The Blue Jays travel to New York to take on the New York Yankees, the rival Yankees. Please make sure you have hit that like button down below. And as well, just a heads up for everybody, we're going to be starting our Sick Kids campaign in just a couple of weeks. We're going to be doing another campaign with Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto. So be on the lookout for that, and we'll talk to you guys back in the chat. Cheers, everybody.
And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fifth Straight Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
I am by your side. Got a heart so big. On this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fielded at second, Horwitz steps on the bag, throws to first, double play.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. Getting set to start the bottom half of the 8th inning. Eric Smith and Caleb Joseph with you from the Timber Mart broadcast booth as the Blue Jays trailed the Yankees 7-3. Yerry Rodriguez coming into the ball game for Toronto. And he will try to keep this at a 4-run deficit. Certainly don't want to see the Yankees tag on anymore, as the Blue Jays will be down to their last at-bats, trying to play the comeback kids today. They had a brief lead in the first inning, up 1-0 on a solo shot from Vladimir Guerrero Jr., but then the Yankees got a 2-run shot from Aaron Judge to take a 2-1 lead, and they have been in the lead since. They haven't looked back. Toronto's been trying to play catch-up all afternoon. Trent Grisham to lead things off here for the Yanks, and he shows bunt, sends one down the third base line, barehanded by Clement, throws to first, and gets Grisham by a half a step. A nice stretch from Vladdy, and there's one away.
Wow, what a play by Clement at third base. The only reason Grisham is even bunting here is because the infield shifted over, as Grisham likes to pull the baseball. Clement kind of playing a bit of a shallow kind of 5-hole, comes in charging, bare hands moving towards home plate, throwing across the body. Perfect strike to Vladdy. Vladdy has the opposite foot on the base, but is still able to reach over, make the grab. What a play by Clement. Awesome.
Back to the top of the order we go. Alex Verdugo 0 for 4 in the ball game. Down 0-1 in the count. Pitch from Yerry Rodriguez, a one-hopper, a skip right in front of the plate. Snagged by Kirk, but he wants a fresh baseball nevertheless. As the count sits at 1-1. Here's the pitch from Rodriguez, fouled off down the first base side toward the dugout. It's now 1-2. Rodriguez looks in at Alejandro Kirk, gets the sign. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Down Main Street, fouled off, clocked at 97. We'll do it again at 1-2.
Always find it interesting when certain players that are big leaguers and normally sporting a beard or, some sort of goatee or something get traded to the Yankees, and now they're kind of freshly shaven. That's the case with Verdugo. Looks like a totally different human up there. As the 1-2's outside, fastball taking it to 2-2. Big, large beard for Verdugo in Boston, then comes over to the Yankees. Fully clean shaven, looks about 15 years old. Looks way older with the beard. Totally different look from him.
And now he fights the count to full at 3-2. And obviously the Yankees do allow facial hair to some degree. We just saw Grisham up there with the Fu Manchu moments ago. Little dribbler out towards short, scooped and picked up by Jimenez, but then he rushes the throw to first, and it's a wild one that Vladdy can't handle as Jimenez taps his chest and says, "My bad." Yeah, no kidding.
Wow, that was a kind of a unique play. Very slow developing play, but the way that Jimenez was running towards it, he just picks it right in front of second base on the run, moving towards first base. Vladdy's still kind of trying to get over there. Verdugo not really running very hard to first base.
Verdugo was still 5 feet away.
But Vladdy really wasn't on the base. The ball's in the air, has no adjustability. A rushed play. The internal clock of Jimenez just really sped up there on that play. No need to rush that as strike one comes in on Soto on the outer half. That just shows you the inexperience of Jimenez at shortstop. That play, he could have gathered, taken 3 steps. Lolly popped it over to first base for the out, but he rushed it, and therefore E6 on the play.
0-1 pitch way outside. It's now 1-1 to Juan Soto, who is 1 for 4 on the afternoon. A base hit, a strikeout, and then a line out to center and a ground out to short. But a chance to get things going here in the 8th inning with 1 out and 1 on. Verdugo at first as Soto looks at a pitch outside. It's 2-1.
We've seen a couple of plays from Jimenez at shortstop where he's really had to rush and not been able to really make the play. And why is that so important? Well, if you got out number 2, then you're looking at finishing the inning with Soto if you're able to do that. If not, you're going to have to face Judge again, and that's not what the Blue Jays want.
Soto slaps at the next pitch. The 2-1 fouled off. A fastball clocked at 97. It's now 2-2 as the Yankees lead 7-3 here in the bottom of the 8th. We are in the Timber Mart broadcast booth on a Saturday afternoon. 2.5 hours into this ball game, Yankees, as I've mentioned a couple of times, have been pretty much in control since the bottom of the first. Swing and a miss. Soto sits down for the second time in this game. There's 2 away.
Really good slider from Rodriguez. Just middle down, loop, moving down and in to finish. Late, sharp action. Don't really see swings like that from Soto. Normally he's on it right out the gate, but the tight spin of that slider, Soto swings right over it. But here comes Judge.
With a man on, Aaron Judge looks at the first pitch. It's a slider in for a strike, 0-1 count. The out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by the St. Louis Bar and Grill. That quarterfinal matchup in women's soccer in the Olympics between Canada and Germany is now going to penalty kicks. Judge 1 for 2 on the afternoon with a couple of walks, one of them intentional. 7-3 Yankees lead, looking for more right here with a man on for Judge. Inside, clocked at 98. It's 1-1. Judge with his 41st home run of the season back in the first inning. Rodriguez looks at the sign from Kirk. Here's the 2-1 delivery. And Judge sends a base hit into center field. It's scooped up by Dalton Varsho, but Verdugo with enough to make the turn at second, get to third. And it's runners on the corners with 2 away for New York.
The fastball sinking down and in. The Judge just kind of fillets it out to right field. And a fillet for Judge is 104 off the bat, by the way. He could just do unworldly things. We've said this over and over and over, but he just doesn't really even look like he swings at this ball. It's meant to be jammed rollover, but he just holds the angle of the bat so well, rotates, and that ball, because of the angle, shoots to right center field.
Austin Wells steps in 1 for 3 on the afternoon. A couple of strikeouts for Wells. In fact, he has struck out in each of his last 2 at-bats, but he's got a chance right here to make up for all of that. With his team leading 7-3, he's got runners on the corners, and now Kirk asks for time and steps out a couple of paces in front of the plate, says a couple of words to Rodriguez, and now steps back in behind the plate, gets set for this 1-0 pitch. Way high, clocked at 98, 2-0. Rodriguez comes set, the leg kick and the delivery, and this one is sent into right field. A one bouncer into the glove of Barger. That will cash. Verdugo from third. And it's an RBI base hit for Austin Wells to extend the lead for the Yankees to 8-3.
Wells continues his hot hitting. Probably the hottest hitting catcher in the big leagues. Doesn't try and do too much really with this kind of backdoor slider. Doesn't really finish. Gets it off the end a little bit, but has good direction. Lifts it right in front of Barger. Nice piece of hitting from the young catcher.
Now Gleyber Torres steps in, swinging at the first pitch. A lazy fly ball out to shallow center. Back is the second baseman, Spencer Horwitz, to make the grab. And that will retire the Yankees. But the lead now sits at 5. It's an 8-3 lead. On to the 9th inning we go. Blue Jays down to their final at-bat on Toronto Blue Jays baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This has been Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app. Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game.
It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet.
Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is bedlam in the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the
Cheers,
cleats hit the
Insiders.
grass, hit
I
the
just wanted to
crushed
take a minute to say thank you for hanging out with us. I really appreciate you guys helping me create this amazing community that we have here for Toronto sports fans to hang out together every single time a Toronto sports team is live. The Blue Jays, we got hockey season coming up, the Argos games. Just wanted to say thank you. Make sure that bell is turned on so you don't miss it when we go live for any Toronto sports event and some other sports events as well. We'll see you guys back in the chat.
Visit Rogers.com for details. We got you. Rogers.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
In time. What a play, Bo Bichette.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back. 9th inning. Blue Jays in New York. Trying to put on the rally caps here in the 9th inning in a big-time way. As Toronto is down 8-3 to the Yankees. New York trying to even up this 3-game set after losing the opener 8-5 last night to Toronto. And the first batter of this 9th inning For Toronto is Spencer Horwitz. He'll try and get things going. Mark Leiter Jr. into the ball game for the Yankees to try and close out this 9th inning with an 8-3 lead. He'll finish up this game, or at least he hopes to. Horwitz 0 for 2, walked in the 4th inning. And now the count even at 1-1. That sinker caught the outside edge from Leiter. And the 1-1 pitch is sent down the left field line. And into the stands. Horwitz down 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Tried to come inside, and Horwitz sends that one foul. Dribbled it toward the first base side on the dugout, and he digs back in for the 1-2. And Canada has been eliminated in their quarterfinal matchup of women's soccer as Spencer Horwitz slaps a base hit into right field to start this 9th inning. 1 on with none away. Again, Canada loses in penalty kicks to Germany, so they are eliminated in the quarterfinal after everything they overcame with drone gate and everything else. Canada loses in their quarterfinal matchup.
Did the opposing goalie score the winning kick right there? I think the opposing, I've never seen that before. Goalie versus goalie in a PK. Amazing.
To be honest, I didn't even notice. I looked up as it was over, but I think you might be right. Talking to a couple of big-time soccer heads right here. The 1-0 pitch to Ernie Clement in for a strike. The sinker caught the outside edge. It's 1-1. Blue Jays down by 5. Clement looks at the next pitch. It's also a strike. A sinker caught the bottom part of the zone. And now he's down on the count 1-2. Clement came in swinging a hot stick, but he's 0 for 3 this afternoon. Would love to bust out of it right here and keep this inning going with none away and a man on first. Get up as many guys as you can. And he just got underneath one, sends it out to left field. Tracking back just before the warning track to make the grab is Alex Verdugo. And there's one away.
And not a bad swing from Clement. He actually hit it too well. Going back to that last half inning, Volpe kind of with the half swing gets it just enough to get it in between. This one's kind of a similar type swing from Clement, except he gets too much of it, sends Verdugo back for the flyout.
And a first pitch to Dalton Varsho is way high, missing with a curveball. 1-0 count. And just to go back to the women's soccer for a second, you were obviously on your game there, Mr. Joseph. It was indeed the German goalie who came in to score the winning goal in penalty kicks as Germany again beats Canada in the quarterfinal matchup. But Canada has had success on the podium today with at least a couple of medals. I've been trying to keep my eye on the various TVs as we've been calling the action. And I do know that, of note, with due respect to anybody else that medaled, Summer McIntosh did it again with yet another gold medal as Dalton Varsho sends a base hit into right field. And now the Blue Jays have first and second with just one away here in the 9th.
It's nice to see Varsho hit the ball hard. So middle across hanging fastball, cripple mistake fastball. He gets out in front of it a little bit, just out of the reach of Torres at second base. Hard hit. Nice little single. And whenever you're coming in as a pinch hitter, always nice to get a hit, raise that average, feel good about going into probably his start, which will be tomorrow.
Brings up Leo Jimenez, 0 for 3 on the afternoon with 2 on and 1 out. Addison Barger on deck. Jimenez digs in. The 1-0 pitch inside. It's now 2-0. Batting .206, Jimenez. Outside edge. The sinker is good. 2-1. Tomorrow afternoon's game again will start with our pregame coverage at 1 o'clock. First pitch coming just after 1:30. And we will have the call for you, Eric Smith and Caleb Joseph. It'll be the rubber match, it looks like, of this 3-game series, unless the Blue Jays can really mount something right here. Down 5, but they've got 2 on with 1 out. Jimenez ahead in the count, 3-1. And he slaps one into center field. It's a base hit for Leo Jimenez. And Horwitz goes station to station as he stops at third, and the bases are juiced for Addison Barger.
Things could get a bit interesting if Barger's able to run into one, put one into the seats. Would make it a 1-run game. Really nice looking swing from Jimenez, and especially after that error comes around to score. You really want to do something to atone for that as a defender. When you make a play that costs your team a run, costs the pitcher more pitches, the next time you come up, you want to just do something. And in this case, you want to keep the line moving and try and really mount something here in the 9th inning, as pitching coach Matt Blake will come out, have a chat with Leiter Jr. as the last thing you want to do as a Yankee is bring in your high leverage arms in a 3-8 game in the 9th. But Barger could do it. We saw what he did in Baltimore. The power's there, and when he meets barrel to ball on the right plane, it's got a chance. He's got that violent swing, but I love what he was able to do with 2 strikes in that series. Looked like he really cut down, really focused on contact.
He walked in his first at bat, just looked at the first pitch now that came inside, and it looked like it was outside the zone, but Laz Diaz calls a strike. Barger down 0-1. First 2 home runs of the season for Barger came in that Baltimore series. And now 1-1 is the count. Put up some monster numbers at AAA, and eventually trying to translate those numbers into the majors as well. Toronto with the bases loaded this year, batting .314 as a team with 4 grand slams. A big opportunity here for Barger, and he just slapped at the 1-1, sends it foul toward the Blue Jay dugout on the third base side, and he's down in the count 1-2.
So this is the exact scenario I'm talking about. With 2 strikes now, instead of really being in damage mode, trying to really thump one, can you just keep the line moving? You don't want to give in. You definitely don't want to just put the ball in play and sacrifice a potential double play. Looks like there is going to be potentially a challenge here as Laz Diaz comes on the mic. We couldn't hear it, but might be a challenge of catcher's interference. I did hear a little bit of a tick on that foul ball for Barger. It's a fastball down and away, and a lot of times if you're a hitter and you're trying to let it get deep, the deeper you let it get, the more that catcher reaches out. And if your swing catches the mitt of a catcher, it will be catcher's interference. I'm not seeing anything here on the replays that would indicate potential catcher's interference, but I don't know. It did foul off of the heel part of Wells's glove, which will make a bit of an odd sound, but sometimes you hear the click before it hits the barrel. That's what I thought I heard, but we'll see.
After review, the call stands. No catcher's interference. Toronto loses his challenge.
I think that's the correct call from what we saw. We saw a couple of different angles being shown to us, and it didn't look like it hit the glove at all.
I think that odd sound was the ball ricocheting off of the heel of the glove, which sometimes if you get that in reverse, it can play tricks on your mind.
The 1-2 pitch down in the dirt inside. Barger holds off. It's 2-2. Bases loaded, only 1 out. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and Barger just popped it up to the pitcher right at the mound, and then coming over to make the grab is Jazz Chisholm. Initially, it looked like Leiter was going to take it. Then he kind of peeled away. Looked like then DJ LeMahieu was going to grab it from first, and out of nowhere into the picture to call off everybody and make kind of an awkward grab at the last second was Jazz Chisholm, and that will do it for Barger. 2 out now, bases loaded, and the Yankees are going to make a pitching change with George Springer coming up. And with that, we'll make a quick trip back to baseball control with Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Eric and Caleb. Let's check out the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Certainly a lot of Olympic news to get to. In the pool, another gold medal for Summer McIntosh. She wins gold in the 200-meter individual medley. It's her 3rd gold of these games, her 4th medal overall. She added a silver as well. She really pulled ahead in the final 50 meters, the last lap of the race, to finish ahead of both Americans who won silver and bronze. The 17-year-old McIntosh, the first Canadian ever to win 3 gold medals at an Olympic Games, summer or winter. So truly terrific stuff by Summer McIntosh. Congratulations to her. Josh Leando and Ilya Haroun both finishing atop the podium in the men's 100-meter butterfly. A silver for Leando, a bronze for Haroun. Congratulations to them. It's the first double podium for Canada at a summer game since the 1976 Summer Olympics in Montreal. Elsewhere, you heard Eric and Caleb talking about it. The women's soccer Olympic team, their tournament is officially over. It was a 0-0 game between Canada and Germany, but Canada losing on penalties 4-2 to Germany. So that does it in France for the defending gold medalists. Germany will go on to face the United States in the semifinal. On the track, Canadian sprint star Andre DeGrasse qualified for the men's 100-meter semifinal. He clocked a time of 10.07 seconds to finish 3rd in his heat. He beat out Liberia's Emmanuel Matadi for the final qualifying spot in their group by just 1/100th of a second. The semis go tomorrow, 2:05 p.m. Eastern, while the final in the men's 100-meter goes later Sunday, 3:50 p.m. Eastern, 12:50 p.m. Pacific. So tomorrow, that'll be atop the out-of-town scoreboard. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action. Clay Holmes in to try and close things out for New York. Here's Eric Smith and Caleb Joseph.
All right, thanks very much, Joe. As you mentioned, Clay Holmes comes into the ballgame to try and shut things down, the 2.82 ERA with 45 strikeouts on the season in 45 games. And Caleb, you were saying to me while we were listening to show, Clay Holmes probably shouldn't be in this game, but the bases are juiced in spite of this 8-3 New York lead. George Springer swings and misses at the first pitch.
Yeah, Clay Holmes, the closer for the Yankees, probably doesn't want this appearance, but he's going to get it. Nasty bowling ball, heavy velocity sinker, really good slider. Induces a lot of ground balls.
And now the next pitch, down low, way outside, but Springer offered at it and quickly down in the count, 0-2. With the bases loaded, it's an 0-for-3 afternoon for Springer. He would love to make something happen right here and get a 2-out rally going for the Blue Jays with Joey Loperfido on deck. Springer batting .255 in his career with the bases loaded. Pitch inside. Looked like it might have caught the inside edge, but Laz Diaz says no, and Springer stays alive at 1-2.
Potential makeup pitch for the called strike 3. The at-bat before to Springer. Moves for another pitch.
Holmes with the 1-2. And Springer went after it. Bit hard on that sweeper, and that does it. The Blue Jays lose 8-3 in Game 2, and we will have the rubber match tomorrow afternoon.
I like the way the Blue Jays offense came out and tried to continue to scratch out runs as they did a few hours earlier in Game 1, but for me it was all about kind of the pitching and the defense. You're talking about clean, crisp baseball games that the Blue Jays are looking for with this young group going forward, and Berrios, just more of the same from Berrios. His last start, he looked better in terms of his delivery, in terms of getting down into his lanes, which allowed the pitches to go where they wanted. But you know, two-run home runs, one to Aaron Judge, one to Trent Grisham, really just kind of threw him off of his game a little bit. Really struggled to kind of get through it. And then for me, it was a couple defensive plays that led to a couple extra runners. They ended up scoring and a couple walks late in the game. And these are the growing pains that the Blue Jays are going to go through, especially with younger relievers and younger infielders kind of finding their way around the big leagues. When you can limit those type of extra plays, you're going to be in a much better position. You can't give extra outs and can't give free passes on the bases to really good offenses like the New York Yankees and expect to win. But overall, they fought hard, and they have a chance tomorrow to win the series.
So again, the Blue Jays lose 8-3. We'll step aside for the break, come back, get set to wrap things up, and hand you off to post-game coverage as Toronto again loses 8-3. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Witches, wizards, and muggles come down to the core as Roger Center transforms into Hogwarts. Harry Potter-themed entertainment and activities around the ballpark. Magic moments create core memories. So fly down to Roger Center on Friday, August 9th, and get one of 4 Blue Jays Harry Potter Hogwarts House Raglan shirts. Harry Potter Night. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza, and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Strike 3. Kevin Gausman strikes out the side.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Eric Smith and Caleb Joseph with you for the last couple of minutes here. The Blue Jays lose to the New York Yankees 8-3. Toronto scoring those 3 runs on 8 hits. They had 2 errors. The Yankees with 10 hits, no errors, and their 8 runs. They scored 6 runs over the first 5 innings of this ball game. And as I mentioned a couple of times during the broadcast, it was Toronto jumping out to the 1-0 lead thanks to the solo shot from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in the first inning, but the Yankees responded with a 2-run shot from Aaron Judge, his 41st home run of the season. They took a 2-1 lead, then never looked back. They led the rest of the way. Toronto could never get over the hump. And again, they lose by 5. And there weren't a ton of bright spots or bright lights in this ball game, Caleb, from a Blue Jay perspective. But if there was one, it clearly has to be Vladdy. We talk about his home run, yes, but another 3-for-4 day with a couple of runs scored, the average up to 318. He just continues to hit the ball so well.
He sure does. Last 7 games for Guerrero Jr. Just listen to these numbers. 577 average, 625 on base percentage, 1.269 slug. These numbers are gaudy. I mean, it's unbelievable really what he's doing and how and why. In my opinion, it comes down to a couple really simple things. One, it's how he's getting started. The tempo at what he's getting started, that early gather, super early, super slow. The barrel tips, it allows him to get on the backside. Then as he strides towards the ball, he's seeing it like a beach ball because he's well connected and well on that backside. And then he's making good swing decisions because he's seeing the ball. It's not he just decides to swing at good pitches. It's because the ball is slowing down. It's slowing down because of his gather. And another thing, too, that I like is his direction. He's not trying to hit the ball to the left field. And when we saw him earlier on in the season, there was a lot of pressure. He was trying to really do a lot of things to the pull side, which tells me he's chasing the extra base hits, chasing the home runs, chasing power. But now he's not trying to, and he's actually getting more. And another thing is pressure. Obviously, the Blue Jays have punted on this season. The pressure is now off. And look at what Guerrero Jr. is doing when he has little to no pressure on him. He's actually coming out and is bringing his best version of himself, which is why I think it's so important that the Blue Jays go out and get really good, established, feared bats around him for next year so that he doesn't feel the pressure that he has to do it all at the beginning of the season. What a run for Vladdy Guerrero Jr. This is as close to 2021 as I have ever seen him, and that is what Blue Jays fans want to see. This version of him every day from here on out. Pay the man, get him a contract, get some help around him, see what the Blue Jays can do after that.
In a game that took 2 hours and 51 minutes in front of 40,218 people at Yankee Stadium, the New York Yankees beat the Toronto Blue Jays 8-3. The rubber match goes tomorrow just after 1:30 Eastern Time. Our coverage begins with the pregame show at 1 o'clock, and the man that will be hosting that pregame show is coming up in mere moments with Jays Talk as well. That's Show Ali. Thanks to producer Nick Blackmore and technical director Tom Young. For Caleb Joseph, I'm Eric Smith. Thanks for tuning in to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This has been Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game.
It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet.
Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play. Oh, my.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball is high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw.
And the way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
A ball, a bat, and a microphone. But no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck it out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series.
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on SiriusXM.
All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play. 4.
Get up. Get up.
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on.
Wow. Talk about the game and all the stories on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89 and the SiriusXM app.
And we'll get some of the fallout on some of this as time goes on and how the negotiations played out. But I'm with you. I would have thought there would have been a little more of a price to be paid for Flaherty because I like him more than I do Kikuchi. I like him more than some of the other starters that got moved. And the price down a little bit. But I have to tell you, Mike, that you think about this trade deadline. It was a seller's market, but there was so much buying.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Saturday, August the 3rd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:05 p.m. New York Yankees take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Yankees on SiriusXM channels 89, Internet 858. Blue Jays on Internet 868. 2:20 p.m. Chicago Cubs face the St. Louis Cardinals. Cubs on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 844. Cardinals on Internet 865. National feed on Sirius 162, XM 184, and Internet 963. 4:05 p.m. p.m. Washington Nationals face the Milwaukee Brewers. Nationals on Sirius 209, XM 176 and Internet 869. Brewers on Internet 855. 6:10 p.m. Detroit Tigers taking the Kansas City Royals. Tigers on Sirius 210, XM 177 and Internet 849. Royals on Internet 851. 6:40 p.m. Pittsburgh Pirates take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Pirates on Sirius 211, XM 178 and Internet 861. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 7:05 p.m. Texas Rangers take on the Boston Red Sox. Rangers on Sirius 137, XM 179 and Internet 867. Red Sox on Internet 843. Spanish feed on Sirius 138, XM 180 and Internet 870. 7:10 p.m. Minnesota Twins take on the Chicago White Sox. Twins on Sirius 139, XM 181 and Internet 856. White Sox on Internet 845. 7:15 p.m. Cleveland Guardians take on the Baltimore Orioles. Guardians on Sirius 161, XM 183 and Internet 847. Orioles on Internet 842. 7:15 p.m. Houston Astros take on the Tampa Bay Rays. Astros on Sirius 162, XM 184 and Internet 850. Rays on Internet 866. 7:15 p.m. Cincinnati Reds take on the San Francisco Giants. Reds on Sirius 160, XM 182 and Internet 846. Giants on Internet 863. 7:20 p.m. Atlanta Braves take on the Miami Marlins. Braves on Sirius 106, XM 185 and Internet 841. Marlins on Internet 854. 8:40 p.m. San Diego Padres take on the Colorado Rockies. Padres on Sirius 119, XM 186 and Internet 862. Rockies on Internet 848. 9:07 p.m. Oakland A's take on the LA Dodgers. A's on Sirius XM channels 89, Internet 859, Dodgers on Internet 853, Spanish feed on Internet 871. 9:38 p.m. LA Angels take on the New York Mets. Angels on Sirius 158, XM 187 and Internet 852, Mets on Internet 857. 9:40 p.m. Seattle Mariners take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Mariners on Sirius 85, XM 188 and Internet 864, Phillies on Internet 860. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Saturday, August the 3rd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:05 p.m. New York Yankees take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Yankees on Sirius XM channels 89, Internet 858. Blue Jays on Internet 868. 2:20 p.m. Chicago Cubs face the St. Louis Cardinals. Cubs on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 844. Cardinals on Internet 865. National feed on Sirius 162, XM 184 and Internet 963. 4:05 p.m. Washington Nationals face the Milwaukee Brewers. Nationals on Sirius 209, XM 176 and Internet 869. Brewers on Internet 855. 6:10 p.m. Detroit Tigers take on the Kansas City Royals. Tigers on Sirius 210, XM 177 and Internet 849. Royals on Internet 851. 6:40 p.m. Pittsburgh Pirates take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Pirates on Sirius 211, XM 178 and Internet 861. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 7:05 p.m. Texas Rangers take on the Boston Red Sox. Rangers on Sirius 137, XM 179 and Internet 867. Red Sox on Internet 840.